106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Wednesday, October 23rd. Welcome to Double Impact. I'm your host, Gabe. We're going to have a great one tonight. Jericho will be in a little bit later. It is Lost Boys. Guys, we are going through Halloween horror monster themed movies, obviously, for the month of October. That's a tradition around here on Double Impact. I was supposed to put on my vampire teeth before the show, and I forgot until just about a minute ago. So I will be putting those on during the show. I don't like wearing them. It's weird. The last time I wore them, I've only worn them once. It was like 15 years ago. I was a vampire for Halloween. Vampire. What is that? Is that like a Antonio Banderas kind of accent? Let's see who's here. Bazinger, a.k.a. El Otaku, a.k.a. the Weeb Pillar. Mark's Music Obsession. Michael Coulter. Guys, welcome in. Welcome in. Hit the like. Hit the share. We're going to have a great one tonight. We're going to have a lot of fun. Comics are going. We're having a lot of fun. The Tyrus stuff, I'm doing some more character design to come along beautifully. Empyrean is up to page 100 and out of 120 from Akion today with the preview art for that. So what he does, he emails me the pencils. I'm like, hey, what do you think of this? How do you think these look? And then I sign off on it. And then he goes ahead. So I haven't even looked at them yet. I'm gonna take a brief look actually right now. So spoiler alert. I'm going to look at a little bit of Empyrean online with you guys. You guys are going to love this book. I think the order I'm going to release these books is not Empyrean first. I think I'm going to the Tyrus book first. I think that'll be the move. So I haven't even started drawing that yet. I don't even have a final script on that. I wrote a plot, then I rewrite. I usually write 3-4 drafts, stuff like that. I start with the plot, and then I write a script after the plot. So let's drag this over here. Well, I'm going to look through these first. This is beautiful. Golly, he's good. Gosh, damn, he's good. I'm not going to show you guys everything, but let me share screen. These are pencils for Empyrean. It's an amazing sci-fi comic book. And yeah, we're up to page 110. Imagine that, working hard and getting your work done and getting your stuff out in a timely fashion to people. Imagine that in indie comics. What a concept. Look at this double page spread here. I'm not going to tell you guys nothing about what this is about, but if you want intense sci-fi like Star Wars, not so much Star Trek is too nerdy for me, but you want love and family, you want hope, you want that amazing uplifting feeling. I'm not going to show any more of this. The pages are so amazing. I don't want to spoil it all, but Empyrean has got it for you. It's absolutely a blast, and I couldn't be more proud to work with Akion, to work with Dean Cain, to work with Tyrus, to work with Jericho, to work with Blonde, to work with all the great Jose Marie Flores, the color flatter that I've worked with for years. I couldn't be more proud to work with these guys. And I could be more proud of you guys out there that support me and do a great job lifting up Big Man Comics. Someone says it's a little glitchy. Let me know if it's still glitching. I tried to hardwire this computer in so it wouldn't be glitchy, and it doesn't seem to like it when I do the hardwire for StreamYard. So then I go to Wi-Fi, which I don't think is as good, but that's what we're on now. So give me a 1 if we look and sound okay, and give me a 2 if we are not looking good. So let me grab something from right behind me on this table over here, and then I'll look for the 1s and the 2s to see how we're looking on it. All right, coming back. So yeah, I forgot to put on my vampire teeth. Weed Pillar says it's a 1. It looks good. Okay, we'll keep going. We'll keep chugging along. So I went to okay, Tim Allen said, now you're sounding better. Yeah, I saw the Wi-Fi signal thing. It went down on the left side there. So I got dental cream here for dentures. So I'm going to try and put these on live on the air. This should be fun. Vampire teeth in honor of Lost Boys. I don't know where my beautiful friend Jericho is yet. Oh, you know what? He has football practice till 7. That's right. So he'll be here at like 7:15, 7:30, something like that. Okay, so we put a little denture cream, and then we'll get to this coming soon thing. I'm going to make myself bigger on the screen then. Okay, we're going to put these in. Okay, I got on. Okay. I got. Okay. Can't. Okay, I know what I'm doing. Okay, got that on. Okay, got this on. Did I not use that denture cream? I think I got it. So, dude, that sucks. Gabe should dress up like the Saxophone Man. No. Okay, this fucking sucks. I don't think I'm gonna do this, guys. Ugh, stuff tastes awful. Listen, I love to do this. Ugh, I was unprepared. Ugh. I remember my grandpa complaining about denture glue. Denture adhesive cream, strong all day hold. Today's show is brought to you by Signature Care from Safeway and Vons. And now I have this sticky crap all over my teeth and tongue. That's awful. I live in San Diego. I'm going to try and drink some of this down. I live in San Diego, guys. As you know, America's finest city. The average price of a home here is where I live. This is not going to spoil anything. I'm not doxing myself. Is over $1 million for regular homes. It's a 3-bedroom, 1,200 square feet. It's over $1 million. But we live, in a stone's throw from the ocean. So, of course, it's expensive. It's nice. There's little to no crime. It's beautiful, idyllic, middle class, suburbia. This pink goo on me. Damn it. Why did I do that? But I go into Vons to buy some shampoo. Vons is our grocery store. And to buy this in my nice San Diego, people got money neighborhood. And all of the shelves are locked in Gavin Newsom and Kamala Harris's California. It's all locked. I have to push a button like an asshole that summons some kid that works at the grocery store to come and unlock the shelf so I can buy this generic denture cream that I now have stuck all in my teeth trying to put on these dumb vampire teeth. So it's truly, truly awful. You got to vote according. I voted for Trump. I voted for Steve Garvey, the Dodger legend, to be the Republican senator in the U.S. Senate for California. And I voted for our independent. He's a retired police officer, I think, and Marine, to be the mayor of San Diego. I'm doing my part, guys. I'm fighting back. And I want you, all of you out there watching, you must be registered to vote if you're an American. You must be registered to vote. Vote Trump. Vote Republican. Yes, I'm being political. But it's existential, guys. This is it, man. This is the final battle with communism. You need to take this seriously. Get out there, get registered, and go and vote. It's not a joke. Tell your friends, tell your family. It's got to be Trump all the way. It has to be. Enough of this, the last 4 years of nonsense. I tell you guys, systems are about direction, not location, right? If you want to know how something's going to be, then you got to be like, well, where are we today versus where we were yesterday, versus where we were 5 years ago, versus where we were 10 years ago. Look at where we are today. Look at where we were a year ago. Look at where we were when Biden and Harris came into office. Okay, now extrapolate that forward 4 years, 8 years, 20 years. Right. Get out there and vote and take people to vote with you. I've been texting people. I've been getting on family, and I'm going to make sure vote, and you've got it. So, Joe Musashi says, going to Japan this week. All right, enjoy, friend. I've always wanted to go there. I will someday. I want to go to the Disney Sea. It's supposed to be the best Disney park in the world. It's not really owned by Disney, the company. It's owned by the Tokyo Land Company or something, and they basically lease all the Disney stuff or pay a royalty to Disney, and they run the park. And it's supposed to be the most beautiful, wonderfully designed park in the world. It's like one of the greatest theme parks. So I definitely want to go to Tokyo Disney Sea one day. Mark says glitchy again. Damn it. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. Let me see my Wi-Fi. I don't know. Should I switch Wi-Fi? No, I'll leave it. I'll leave it on the network I'm on. If it gets bad, I'll jump out and come back. Guys, so what is this? Dean Cain, All-American Lawman, coming soon. Get on the mailing list. Go to bigmancomics.com and get on our mailing list, and you'll be the first to find out what this is. Dean Cain himself, Superman, will be on this channel next Wednesday night, 7 p.m. with me and Jericho, if Jericho's here. And we're going to reveal what's in the box. We're going to reveal what's in the box, and you're going to love it. Big Man Comics did not forget you. You know, we've got a lot of stuff we're working on. If you look behind me in this photo here, we've got a lot of things coming, but it's going to be a while. You know, these books, they take time to make. Empyrean is almost done. Tyrus is about to get started. Dean Cain, All-American Lawman, and the Hong Kong Connection, that's going to get started in November. And Jericho and the Hammerheads, will probably start working on it later. So it's going to take a while to get you these things. But I didn't forget about you at the holidays. There's something fantastic that you're going to love that is going to be revealed very soon. So stay tuned. Watch everything I'm doing on social media, here on YouTube, and you're going to find out what's going on. Okay? Okay, and again, Dean will be here to break that announcement with me next week. What's in the box? It's another box. Yeah. That's going to be awesome, Gabe. Yeah, Chrome, it really is. It really is. And if you came in here late, I was already telling people that we got more of the Empyrean. It's up to page 110. It's a 120-page book. These are pencils. These are not inks. I won't show anything else. Well, I'll show this other one. Not that one, damn it. This one. So, yeah, this is great stuff. This is fantastic stuff. These are the pencils from Akion. He runs those by me before he does inks. I need to email him back and tell him, yeah, go for it. But every 10 pages, I'll review them. I'll send him notes or whatever. But the guy's such a pro, I don't send him any notes. He blows my mind with the stuff he comes up with. Let's see. Michael Coulter, Gabe, I missed the days of Marvel and DC competition. Both major comic book companies were awesome back then. Yeah, they were. But they have been infiltrated with ideologue scumbag DEI SJW people. And most of the people working there are pretty normal, nice people, but the DEI SJW people are ruthless and vicious people, and they dominate and bully everyone else there who just keeps their head down. And there you go. That's why that stuff ends up that way, you know. Mark's Music Obsession, 120 pages. Well, yeah, absolutely. That's how I do. That's how I does it, baby. The way I write scripts, I write them like 3-act Hollywood action movies. And I have found that's the length I need to write stories. My first indie book was Truth, Justice, American Way. And it's an excellent comic, but it's only 64 pages. And I really feel like if I had doubled that up to about 120, that I really could have told the story I wanted to tell fully. But time, deadlines, getting books out to people, it was my first one through. Now that I have more time to crowdfund these, I'm going to do them the way I really want to and get the best product out there. It's just going to be amazing. So, Joe Musashi, that's huge. That's how we do it. It's called Big Man Comics for a reason. So, any guesses what is in the box there? Just any guesses? Holiday themed, Dean Cain, All-American Lawman, and we're going to do it right. You'll see. You're going to love what's in there. Think about what you think about. It says DEI is just racism with another. Yeah, it is. All that progressivism, feminism, liberalism, all they are is bigotry. It's just either anti-white, anti-male, anti-American, anti-Christian, anti-family, or all of it, or a couple of them and not a few others. But it's all hatred. You know, the party of joy and love and acceptance, it's all hatred. That's the whole thing is based on that. We know it. Everybody knows it. So, Yeah, I mean, it's destroying gaming. You know, if you want to check out my YouTube channel, I've got some really fun stuff going over there. My recorded videos, guys. Remember, every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific, you can watch a new video that I put out, and I'll show you real quick right here. Tomorrow's video, ooh, controversy. Look at tomorrow's video. Comic book movies suck. That's right, I said it, and I'm not backing down. You guys know I don't like comic book movies. Now, are there some exceptions? Of course. But in general, I think comic book movies suck. You're going to love that video. One of the best videos I've put together. But yeah, check that out tomorrow. And of course, I call those expert opinion because I'm an expert. I'm a great writer, artist, storyteller. I've been doing this for the better part of a quarter century, guys. I know what I'm doing when it comes to making stories professionally. And when I give it, there's a lot of opinions out there, but most of them are not expert opinions. So you're welcome for all my expert opinions on video games, movies, comics, all of it, visual storytelling. But yeah, comic book movies suck. One of the videos I'm most proud of that I've made. It's awesome. You know, you're going to really love that one. So if you're a member, you can watch that as soon as I post it. So I posted it this afternoon. Members like Mark's Music Obsession, he could watch it now, but he's not going to. He's going to stick around here in the live chat. So anyway, but yeah, make sure you're subbed, make sure you hit the like, all that good stuff. We're going to have a good time here. Hey, Gabe, I want to ask you what your thoughts are and insights on Kaliman. What the hell is Kaliman? Kaliman, I don't know what that is. The Incredible Man is a popular Mexican adventurer superhero created by Rafael Cutberto Navarro and Modesto Vasquez Gonzalez in 1963. What I think about Kaliman is I don't know anything about him, but here he is on Wiki. I say Wikipedia. Some people say Wikipedia. Kaliman, I don't know. If they're action movies and they're fun B movies, I'd check one out. If this is the kind of thing that's fun to watch with your friends, then you turn to your friend and make like a silly comment because the action's like stupid and crazy and over the top. Sure, I love movies like that. So I guess I'll have to check out Kaliman. I'm sure it's on Amazon or one of those things like that. But yeah, a foreign. Now I don't speak Spanish fluently enough. Estoy aprendiendo español con mi esposa, pero yo hablo un poquito español. I want to learn more Spanish, but I'm just, I'm halfway fluent in Spanish. Halfway. Let's see. Mark's Music Obsession said he already watched and commented my newest video. Let's go to the tape. What did Mark have to say? I'm going to go there, and then we're going to get into Lost Boys. I'm not sure when Jericho will be here again. He has football practice with his son. I love him being dedicated to his son, so I'm never gonna bug him about that. Let's see. Mark said most of them do. I've enjoyed a couple in response to my my concept of saying comic book movies suck. Here's why I think comic book movies suck. I'm going to upload a short video real quick, and it will sum up what I think Disney and all them are doing wrong. Hold on, it's a 6-second video. This is what I think. Oh, if I can. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it is.
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
Okay, did you hear that? Did the sound come through on that? He said some mofos are always trying to ice skate uphill. This is the problem with all this DEI and SJW stuff, all this crap, is that they're trying to go against logic. They're trying to go against gravity. They're trying to go against nature. They're cramming all this stuff into the stuff you love for their left wing, their far left ideology. And they're doing it out of resentment and spite. They're not doing it because they think it's good, because they don't think it's good either. They just hate that you're happy. And this is really true. It's resentment. This is an old thing. Oh, I see a man at the bottom of the screen. Here he is, the man, the myth, the legend, the Midnight Lover himself, Jericho Green, fresh off of Pop Warner football practice.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Last one. Last practice. They got their last game this Saturday, and the season.
Oh, no playoffs?
Over.
Too young for playoffs? Or?
Oh, no. This is the playoffs this weekend.
Mm.
Last weekend was to get in, and then this weekend is for the playoffs. So, yeah.
Okay.
This will be it.
This is like the championship this weekend?
Yeah. So, God dang it. There it is. Yeah, this is it. This is the championship.
Okay.
This is what we've been playing for. So very excited. Got a good practice in. So let's see what happens.
There's something so pure about like young kids football, man. I was a youth football coach for the better part of a decade, and I loved it. Our teams were always good, won multiple championships, and just had a blast with these kids. The greatest thing I think about sports for young men and boys is them realizing they can be more than they ever thought they could be, you know? And you only realize it when you do it. I can tell you till I'm blue in the face that you can do it. You don't know it till you do it, till you overcome the fear, till you overcome your opponent. I can tell you over and over, but when it finally happens, the look in their eyes is amazing, you know? So
it is, especially the kids who are coachable and they're receptive to everything you're trying to teach them. It makes it a whole lot easier and more fun too.
Yeah, it looks like you were texting me a bunch and I didn't hear it because my phone's on silent because I was recording a video earlier.
Oh, I was going off, all caps.
All right. Oh, okay. All right. I got the messages. Got to clear. Oh, real quick. Dean Cain will be in with us next week, Jericho.
Yeah.
Because there's something happening.
What?
There's something happening that people should know about.
What?
You know. Well, it's gonna all will be revealed. I'm gonna keep teasing it and teasing it. And then next Wednesday night when Dean is here, we'll let the world know. And then Dean and I are going to do a tour of all my buddies' YouTube channels. I'm going to go back on the Babylon Bee in person in November.
Nice.
We got something wonderful to promote, and there's a present. There's a candy cane trim on there. You see there's something.
You get it.
Something they're going to.
You get it. You get it.
Yeah.
No, it's going to be great, man. I can't wait to hang out with old Dean again. Yeah,
he's awesome. Heather, she voted today. She almost cried. Feels like such a privilege to vote for my orange man. Yeah, I voted. I filled out my ballot. It's still on my kitchen table because I want my wife and kids to look at it when they go to vote too. That's right. Head of household tells my wife how to vote. That's right, feminists.
Yeah, man, you can't have a house divided. I mean, it's one time I saw this couple and it was a weekend where the 49ers were playing the Cowboys and the husband was a Niner fan. And the wife was a Cowboy fan. I was like, there's no way. There's no way I could allow my wife to be traipsing around the house in Cowboy gear. Oh, man, hell no.
What if your wife was from Dallas, you loved her, and she was a Cowboy fan. She watched all the games with her brothers and dad growing up. And then little Jericho Jr. is born. She tries to put him in a Cowboy Dak Prescott onesie.
Well, first of all, I would never fall in love with a woman who was a Cowboys fan, number one. But number two, that would be, I'd rip it from it. I'd take those paramedic scissors that they cut your jeans off with, and I'd cut that thing off of them and use it for what it's meant to be used for. Toilet paper.
That's funny. Yeah, my wife, born and raised in San Diego, whole family's Charger fans. We get married. She's dyed-in-the-wool Bronco fan. She's got Bronco gear, Bronco, all the Bronco clothes, all the Bronco bedtime clothes. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
And my kids, there's a picture of me holding my son, Peter. He's 1 week old on the day the Broncos defeated the Falcons in the Super Bowl. My son is a week old. And he's wearing a Bronco jersey, all of 7 pounds or 8 pounds of him.
Yeah, that's it. There's I don't see the discussion here. That's it. That's just what it is.
My vampire teeth again. Hold on. This is a very uncomfortable. Okay. See, I got there. Huh? What do you think of that? It's a little hard to talk with these, though.
Yeah, it's going to take some practice. But no, they look cool.
I put them in with the denture cream, and I don't think this is going to work. I tried it earlier and I had to take them off. So
careful, man.
We'll find out.
Don't use that denture cream until you have to.
We'll find out. I just want to play this clip for you because it's this time of year. I'm gonna have to take these fucking teeth off again. Yeah, I want to play this clip for you. It's not the movie we're doing tonight, but I played it in the video I recorded for tomorrow, and I love this clip. This is for Jericho.
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
We love Blade.
I love it. One of the greatest vampire movies ever. There I said it. And you can go back as far as you want. Bela Lugosi and all that. It's right up there.
Do you know the current news about Blade, the movie, the new one?
I don't, but I feel like after you tell me, I wish I didn't know.
For a couple of years, it's been in development. They've had this director, he quit. Another director, he quit. The star, Mahershala Ali, he's in and out. Is he going to do it or not? Then some story stuff leaked about The movie's not really about Blade. He's kind of in it, but it's his young daughter who's going to take over the mantle of Blade and this and that.
Wait. Gabe, hold
Fans
on.
are just
Before you finish.
shitting all over. But okay, go
Wait.
ahead. I'll tell you the
Wait.
good news.
You just said that it's a Blade movie, but it's not about Blade. Go ahead, man.
Not
I just
totally.
wanted to understand that.
It's mostly going to feature his young, badass daughter, and she's going to take over the mantle, blah, blah, blah. But there's such a negative reaction that now Disney has just put that on hold. They announced, it came out yesterday, that, let me see, I could show you. It was like I breathed a sigh of relief when I found out about this. That according to Variety and The Hollywood Reporter, we're breaking news. Remove. Come on. Marvel's Blade removed from release calendar. So as of now, there's no new Blade movie. Let's keep it that way, or make a badass macho masculine Wesley Snipes Part 4, or leave it alone. Old Man Blade starring Wesley Snipes, or leave it alone.
Like they did already in 1998, you could also make a badass movie like that. And I do have a question, and this question can be for this movie or insert, movie that they're trying to destroy with woke garbage sewage. Who asked for this? Who asked for Blade's daughter to take over the next generation? Who asked for that? Who asked for them to destroy Star Wars? Who asked for them to leave shitty fingerprints all over everything they touch in the Marvel universe? I just want to know.
Ugly people with blue hair and pronouns are the people that ask for this. They hate everything beautiful and successful, and they want to destroy it out of resentment. That's the real truth of it.
Well, they're doing a great job. I hate to say it, but they're doing a great job, because this is not only an underhand pitch, but a slow one that's just creeping over the plate that you have all day to just knock over the fence. And they just don't want to. They don't want to give us what we want, but that sucks. Now we're going to miss out on a good Blade movie because they can't get their shit together. So as the old proverb says, when two elephants fight, it's the grass that suffers.
Right. My grandpa used to say that.
Smart man.
Heather says tomorrow's her birthday. She's finally going to be 29, everyone.
Finally, it's about damn time.
There you go.
Happy birthday to you, Heather. What are you going to do? Something we can't talk about on YouTube?
All right.
Or are you going to keep it classy?
So, I thought I'd give you a Blade update because I know that me and you both absolutely love this film. It is a Halloween themed film because it's a vampire movie and it's superheroes, and I do comics. And so I thought I would mention this. Let's see. Gabe, I'm a little worried about the new Spawn movie that's supposed to come out this year. Jamie Foxx is playing Spawn. I wish Michael J. White were reprising.
What? How are you going to have Jamie Foxx play when Michael J. White is not only still totally capable, but he's alive? Why would you have Jamie Foxx do it?
Maybe it can focus not on Spawn, but on Spawn's badass daughter can take over the mantle of Spawn.
And Jamie Foxx is the perfect guy to do it because he's all about that bullshit.
Right.
He's all about that Hollywood woke, empowering women bullshit. At least that's how they package it. So yeah, he's the perfect one to do that.
You wouldn't say that if you weren't afraid of strong, independent women.
Oh yeah, because I'm totally afraid. And I like how people will put it as men are afraid or intimidated. That's the word they use. We're intimidated. No, we're annoyed. We don't want no boss bitch. We don't want, I got this, I got that. I don't need no man. If you don't need no man, then get away from me. It's not what I want. I don't want a hassle, a tussle of locking of the horns. I don't want that shit. That's what I do all day.
We go out into the world and fight the world. I don't want to come home and fight with my wife.
Yeah,
she's
and
supposed
to call
to make
me
my
afraid,
life better and easier. She's not supposed to make my life harder.
You're the peaceful portion of the day. Don't put the cart before the horse. I'm out there handling shit. I need to come home to peace, not get my peace from the world and come home to war. I don't like that shit. And to say that men are afraid, do you know what it's like to be a man? I'm not afraid of some chick. Fuck out of here.
Right, but they're appealing to it's shaming language. Psychological research shows the number one fear women have is physical, being hurt physically. That's their greatest fear. The number one fear men have is being humiliated. Yeah. So that's why they go right to, oh, you're a virgin. You're a dickless piece of shit. You're afraid. You're not a real man. That's why they always go right to that because they know that men get their self-image from what they do. And if they say you're a low or no achievement man, then it hurts your ego. And there you go.
Well, if you're a real man and you're not some kind of doormat simp, ladies, that's a good way to lose your man, to embarrass him like that or humiliate him. That's a real man. A simp and a doormat's going to stand there and let you kick him in his nuts every day. But a real man, that's it. That's it. You embarrass me. You what's the word I'm looking for?
Humiliate.
Humiliate. Yeah, you humiliate me. That's it. There's no coming back from that.
Right.
Because I can't stop from playing that moment over and over again. If it's in front of other people, you're gonna, every time we're in front of them, you humiliate a man, it's over. And real quick, speaking of, the things that men and women fear, today, after practice, I stopped to get gas, and we were walking inside to pay for the gas and get something to drink. And there was a guy who had a Rottweiler in the back of his SUV, and the window was down like a quarter of the way. Enough for if the Rottweiler really wanted to, it would break through that glass like nothing. And so I had to move my son over to my opposite side. So in case I had to put my body between my son and a Rottweiler, I was willing to do that without a moment's hesitation. And I was going to skin that dog alive in front of that Chevron. But the point is, that's the kind of shit we deal with. So I'm going to be afraid of a broad? I don't think so.
Busy broad? Yeah, it's amusing. It's amusing when they try to go to the shaming language, but you can't care. You can't give a shit when they say that stuff.
But if it's a woman who you matters to, your girlfriend, your wife, yeah, you're fucking done.
Here's the thing, though.
It's over.
The kind of man that would let a hen-pecking boss bitch boss him around, the woman would not be attracted to him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So they say out of one side of their mouth they want this, and then when they get it, they're disgusted by it because they do want a man that's strong and stoic and decisive and all that. And I saw some woman joking about, like, I think it was on The Office or somewhere, someone joking about, like, I want to be led, but like only when I want to be,
Yeah,
like,
yeah. And we're supposed to know when that is too, by the way.
Right.
We're supposed to know when she feels like being led.
I'm glad my wife does not have like American feminist culture in a single bone in her body. She's very traditional, Mexican, religious, grew up on the Indian reservation, and it's, let me get your coffee. What do you want for breakfast? What do you want for lunch? What do you want for dinner? Laundry's folded. Let me rub your back. Like she gets that I'm the warrior and she's the shield maiden. I go out into battle. I get stabbed, whatever. I come back. She sews it up. She fixes my armor, fixes my sword and shield, and then feeds me. I get some sleep, and I go back to war the next day. It's a beautiful system. Beautiful system.
And that's what's attractive to a man, a woman being a woman. Just like a man being a man. You catch your husband outside doing some work or something or whatever. It's him being a man and basking in that and enjoying that. That's what turns her on. Just like a woman being a woman, that's what turns us on. You have like all that Instagram bullshit and all these implants, all that kind of stuff. That's for other chicks, I guess, because a woman being a woman, that's all you need for your man to find you attractive forever.
Yeah, it's wired in. It
doesn't wane. It doesn't weaken. It's not like a battery. It doesn't lose power over time. Your man will feel the same way about you. He will find you irresistible until one of you is dead, as long as you be a woman and he's a man.
I remember we had a tree stump in the backyard. You ever remove a tree stump, Jericho? How incredibly hard it is.
Yeah, it fucking sucks.
Oh, it's terrible. There's a whole chapter in John Steinbeck's novel, The Red Pony, about pulling a tree stump out. It's an amazing chapter. Anyway, my son was working on it. He's doing this, he's doing that. And I just come in. And my son had done some of the work, but this tree stump wasn't moving. I reached down and grabbed it. I deadlift this tree stump out of the ground. And my wife talked about it for like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, that'll stay there for life. She'll never forget that. So when you
see a man being a man, women love it. When a woman's being a woman, men love it.
Love it.
I'm going to grab myself a seltzer. Take me 30 seconds. I'll be right back. And then if you want to intro the movie, I'll be back in 30 seconds. I loved this. I'd never seen it before last week. Be right back.
Yeah, Lost Boys. And Lost Boys also has those lessons in life, those traditional roles that we were talking about before. Because in the movie, you have the mom and her two boys. I don't remember what happened to the dad. I don't know if they got divorced or he died or something. I don't know why I can't remember that. But she moved back in with her father because not only was her father family and he was going to help her, but she wanted her boys to have a strong
It was a
male role
divorce.
model.
It was a divorce.
A divorce, yeah. So that's why she moved it back in with her dad, their grandpa. And man, this movie, especially being from where I'm from, I grew up in the Salinas Valley, so it's about 30 minutes from the boardwalk where this was filmed. It's called Santa Carla in the movie, but it's really Santa Cruz, California. And they filmed it at some of it, most of it, at the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. And then they filmed like the house scenes and stuff near the boardwalk. I don't know if the house was in Santa Cruz or Aptos, which is around there, like Santa Cruz, Capitola, Aptos, Soquel. Those are all kind of together.
How many times have you been to that Santa Cruz boardwalk?
Man, just since my kids have been born, I couldn't tell you how many times. Growing up there, that's the 8th grade field trip, that all of the schools go on. That's at least, 3 times during the summer you're going. It's open till October. So I'm sure it's closed by now, but it's open all like spring to fall. It's just where you go, man. It's fun. And the one thing that everybody gets excited about, and if you're from that area, you can totally relate to it. But when you get within, I'd say, a mile of the boardwalk, you can hear the people screaming on the Giant Dipper. You can hear it. You can hear the roller coaster going over the tracks. You hear the people screaming. You can hear like the music and stuff. Like you would get so excited as a kid. And then when you get to the certain street, it goes up kind of high. You could see the top of the Giant Dipper, which is the tallest roller coaster there. And it had like the little flags on top.
Right.
I mean, it was so exciting as a kid to go to the boardwalk. And then, of course, your parents got to find parking and you got to lock the car and you got to get everything out of the car. Did we forget anything? And to a kid, that just takes forever. But you finally get in. You finally get in the boardwalk and it's, Giant Dipper. You want to go down to the beach. You want to get corn dogs and shit. You want to go to the haunted house. And they had an arcade there, candy shops and shit. Boardwalk is everything, man. And
it's an awesome thing. And that's very much a California thing. We have piers on the coast. Everyone knows what a pier is. And, in San Diego, we have the OB Pier. It was condemned. They're going to destroy it and rebuild it, but it's an old one. And then we have the Pacific Beach Pier, which is amazing. It's got bungalows on it that you can rent and stay in, like nice bungalows to sleep in. We've got the Oceanside Pier, which is the longest pier in California. It goes out further into the ocean than any other pier. And there's a restaurant at the end of it, like a Ruby Tuesdays or something, that burned down this last year because a pop-up kitchen was using it and started a fire. Obviously, there's the world famous Santa Monica Pier. The end of the movie Falling Down with Michael Douglas is right there on the Santa Monica Pier. I've been to the Santa Monica Pier a bunch. And, there's obviously Santa Cruz, but there's a lot in California, and it is a fun place to go with the family on the weekend and, get a hot dog, and you're standing way out in the ocean, but yet you're on this wooden pier. And these things are old, they're 70, 80, 90 years old. Some of these things,
Oh yeah.
So,
but it's part of growing up out there, man. It's so cool to have those places to go to.
Heather says, I'd love to hand all head of household duties over to my husband. I get tired up in here fixing toilets and hanging shelves, plus cleaning duties. Oh, your husband needs some men to shame him. What's going on there? Dude, you know how good it feels to fix things? With my wife and big baby up at Bates Nut Farm in the mountains. It's a country place. There's a petting zoo. There's a farm store with all kinds of good snacks. And my air conditioner broke. When I started the truck, no air. And it was warm. It was like 93 up in the mountains.
Oh, not 93. Yeah, Gabe lives down on the coast, so 93 is like, Heather, aren't you from Arizona? Like 93 degrees to Gabe is like us going to Arizona in the summer. Like on the coast, they just can't fucking handle it. Let's see. I'm sure Gabe's not staring off camera, so he probably froze. Let him know. Boop. There we go. See if he leaves and comes back, or if I have to leave and come back. Who knows? We'll figure this shit out. We'll figure this shit out. Let me pull up the. Oh, he left. He's gonna come back though. Don't worry, he's coming back. So now where is it? Let's see. Hold on. There we go. Bam. Okay. So yeah, I don't know if I have to leave too.
All right.
There he is.
Back.
There he
I'm
is.
back. I don't know, but the signal's been fine for weeks, months on end, and then the signal, it's twice tonight where it's been funny. I don't know what the hell.
Son of a bitch. Son of
What
a
are we talking about?
bitch.
Oh, Bates Nut Farm. No, it's a great place to take families and kids. It's got one of those stores with all the mustard and barbecue sauce and peanuts and toffee, and there's like a million like snacky foods like that. Pickled eggs, jerky. They have pies. In the mountains here in California, there's these kind of sort of farm stores, and then there's a petting zoo with goats and llamas and ducks and chicken, all hundreds of animals.
Oh yeah.
But the air conditioner broke, so I go on YouTube. I go into Twitter's AI, and I describe my problem to Twitter's AI, and it tells me exactly what's wrong with my truck. The blower motor fan went out on my truck, as they do after being 10 years old. I go on to look online. They're like $160 for an original Ford one. I go on to Amazon and find it for $39. I get the video on YouTube. How do you replace it? And bing, bang, boom. I replaced the blower motor myself. And as a man, it feels so good to get in there, open your truck up, take everything apart, put everything back, and then turn on the AC, and it works like, baby, I did that. But I've done a ton at my house. The washing machine, the dryer, the dishwasher, the stove. I've done the refrigerator. I've done so much stuff. But yeah, it feels good. Men, there's an old French saying, men must do, women must be. You know what I mean? Like we have to do things, man. We see a problem. If there was a problem, I'll solve it. That's how we feel about life. So.
Yeah. I never realized how much I learned from my dad until I had a house of my own. I had to start doing shit, and you're like, man, good thing I paid attention. Drywall, painting, fucking whatever, working in the yard, building shit. I didn't realize how much I learned from it, because much like parenting, until you need it, you don't need it. It could be laying dormant in the back of your mind, but when it gets activated, you're like, oh shit, all right, my dad wasn't fucking wrong.
Yeah, you got to learn things from older men. That's what we're always talking about masculinity. You learn them from older brothers, uncles, your father, hopefully. My wife's brother's like 10 years older than me. He taught me how to change a tire when I was like 15 in a car. He taught me how to do it, so I could always been able to do it when you get a flat. And I was also taught, if your car is on an incline, you find a heavy stone or brick, wedge it behind that back tire, because when you jack your car up, it's going to fall off the jack because of the gravity of being on a hill. So I told my son that, and he was out with a girl on a date, and it was late at night, and he called me and told me he had a flat tire, but he was going to take care of it. And he was on a hill. It's very hilly here, right by the ocean. And he put the big chunk of concrete behind the tire so the car wouldn't fall. The other thing my brother-in-law taught me was, when you take off the first tire, slide it on its side under the car. So if the car falls off the jack, it won't land on your leg or your arm. It'll land on the rim. It'll land on the metal rim, and it won't hit the ground. So that was another. But like I was taught that by an older man, my brother-in-law. So I think that's a great thing about dads, and I think and I'll get a little back to politics with Trump and all that again. It's why it's so important that Trump wins, because everything in life is persuasion, and people will live and make choices based on what they believe. And Trump is persuasion to like end wokeness. Like wokeness is being mocked and ridiculed, and all these woke video games and woke movies are actually failing now. And if we have Trump in there, it demoralizes the woke people. It makes them crazy and vicious, but it does make them know they're losing. And I think it'll end more wokeness in society. That's my theory, at least.
So. I agree. I mean, I just Googled early voting near me. I want to hurry up and get that in and, do my part. But yeah, this shit, and it's recently become cliche. This is the most important election of our time, but man, it really is, especially when you look at what the alternative is. I don't even want to put this out in the universe, but could you imagine as president? And not only that, again, but even more so, again, looking at somebody thinking, how in the fuck could anybody listen to them speak for 30 seconds and cast a vote for them? And to have that taste in our mouth again, I think would be unbearable. And
Well,
to
I
see,
tell you, the modern leftist, which is different than a Democrat or just a regular liberal, which are fine people, but the leftists, the commies, the social justice, the DEI people, I'm telling you, what they do is out of hatred and resent. They hate the beautiful cheerleader and the handsome quarterback. And instead of saying, how do I become an awesome, handsome quarterback? They say, I must destroy the quarterback. That's their whole ideology. They must destroy America. They must destroy Star Wars. They must destroy, sexual norms. They must destroy the family, destroy religion, destroy music, destroy movies. They must destroy everything out of resentment because they're a fucking loser and they hate winners. If they had a dad, their dad could tell them, hey, son, you might be a loser now, but guess what happens if you work hard and never quit? You'll be anything you want to be. And missing dads for 50 something years, that's why you have so many people like this that are so resentful, because the father is the only one that can tell you, hey, Jericho, you can do it. I believe in you. Your mom cannot do that, because everyone knows somewhere deep in their heart, my mom thinks I'm great no matter what. So it's not, her praise is not, it's not real. Her praise. It doesn't have much value. Like anything that's cheap and easy, it doesn't have value. A mother's love is cheap and easy. It's good. It's necessary, a mother's love, but it's a nurturing love. It's a love of, I love you no matter what. My baby, you see a criminal, and what's the mom say? My baby didn't do nothing. And he did, but the dad's not that way. The dad is like, what are you doing? You embarrassed our family name and blah, 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 So, we gotta have dads back in the culture.
Yeah. Dads who are real dads, dads who aren't pussies.
Committed. When I say dad, I mean full-fledged 24 hours a day dad. This is not your job. It's your life being a dad,
Yeah.
So,
it's your duty.
Right.
Your duty to be a father. Yeah, I mean, it really sucks. And I've said for a long time that's the key to it all. Just a fucking full tank of gas and a road trip with your dad. Stop and get some jerky and sodas and hug that shit out and cry and have him explain to you why he was the way he was, so you'll understand and be like, oh, or whatever it is. That's the only remedy. You're not going to get that fulfilled by society, no matter how much shit you do or take over or destroy. It's a road trip with your pops.
Right. And I would say this to anyone out there who's a resentful leftist and, oh, men ain't shit and toxic masculinity, all this stupid leftist thinking that is incorrect and destructive. Your father or mother, but let's focus on fathers, abandoned you. He mistreated you. He abused you. Whatever he did that hurt you is real and it's terrible and it hurts. But guess what? It isn't your fault at all. It's all being selfish. That's what it was. And it has no bearing on your value as a human being. None. You weren't worthless. You weren't unlovable. He made mistakes and he should have done better. Now you have to let it go. You have to let it go now and realize, oh, this doesn't mean I'm worthless. It means he was being selfish, and just let it go at that. It's very unsatisfying, but it's the mature opinion and it's the mature, correct thing to do. Let the hurt go. And you'll find out when you're a parent of your own that you might screw.
Yeah. Oh, not a matter of if, but how much. And, maybe having your dad explain that to you, you'll understand. We all have been in different situations where when you see it from the other side, you're like, oh, well, now I get it. And it might be some shit that you've been holding on to, and it's a simple explanation like, oh, fuck. You might feel bad for how you felt toward him, once you really learned. But that's what it was, and it's unfortunate, but nobody, and I mean nobody, has written a manual on this shit. And that goes for dads who are doing their job, not pieces of shit. Or the pussy dads like the guy I told you about I worked with, where his parents split up and his dad would cry and like hold on to him and tell him to beg for his mom to get back together. Not that kind of dad, but a dad who's doing what the hell he's supposed to do. It's like, what does that do to you mentally? Jeez.
Very inappropriate, enmeshed. Also have boundaries, and a parent doing that to the kid, putting the adult troubles on the kid, that's completely inappropriate. Man. Heather asks, Jericho, what area of Texas are you in, and are you afraid of it turning blue? You want to take this one, Jericho?
I'm not afraid of turning shit blue. There's no blue in me. I would gladly assimilate to the ways of the Texan And if I have to, buy a pair of cowboy boots or something, I'll do that. There's
we like to
there's
call
no
them
blue
shit
for me to
kickers.
bring. Yeah, man, bring him a pair of them 11.5 shit kickers, man. No, I don't. There's no blue to bring. There's no blue in my house.
But no, he's not in Texas. He is in California with me at the current moment.
Yeah.
So
somebody buy my house. You want me to go to Texas? You buy my house. And
you want him to go to Texas so bad, Heather? Buy his damn house.
Yeah, buy my home. And I'll be gone quick as a hiccup.
Heather wants to know if I'm going to be on the show tonight. Right here, baby.
Yeah.
Clean your glasses. Right here.
×2.
So is that hot guy going to be on here tonight? She's referring to our friend Matthew Marsden, the Brit. I talked to him on the phone this morning. Great conversation. He's the real deal, guys. Off the air, real deal. Passionate, smart. He's Matthew D. Marsden. Heather, just subscribe to his YouTube. He goes live like almost every day. So if you want to see his okay face, he's okay looking. He's not ugly.
In a pinch, in a pinch.
He just got fucked off the street at 16 to be a model.
Yeah, and a pop star. He's not just a movie star and a television star. He actually hit all the levels. Television star.
In 1998, Jericho, but the audience, Matthew Marsden toured as a singer with a contract from Capitol Records, I believe, and his backup singers were Beyonce and Destiny's Child. They were his backup. That's not a joke. I'm not making that up.
Yeah. So he's hit number one on all levels. TV star, movie star, pop star, modeling. I'm sure he did great at that too.
Right. And then he captured Jericho's heart. So he did all of them.
That's it. Check him off. Last one. But yeah, he truly got blessed. He was, bing, bang, boom.
Yeah.
Big family. I think it's 8 or 9
Beautiful
children.
wife, beautiful kids.
Yeah.
Lives deep in the heart of Texas. Traded in his British citizenship to become a real American. That is
awesome.
What's all this there with all this freedom?
Hey, Nat. I am gonna meet up with him and have dinner or something when I move out to Texas.
You might live right by him. You never know.
Hey, wouldn't that be something?
A lot of the homies live there. Eric July, Craig from Side Scrollers, and then Matthew was telling me he lives near Dr. Drew and Dr. Phil.
Dang.
So how's that working out for you?
Rogan's out there, and Rogan's going to have Trump on Friday on his show.
Oh, Kamala declined it because she can't string one sentence together.
But could you imagine? And I would love it because that would give me hours upon hours of content. But could you imagine sitting down for 2 hours? Because you got to at least go, 2 hour and a half, 2 hours with Joe Rogan. It's not a Joe Rogan episode. But the longer it would go, the worse it would get. But could you imagine her for an hour and a half, 2 hours?
No, she can't do anything. She had a town hall with a bunch of people yesterday. And they're like, so one of the people at the town hall is like, so how does this work? How do we get in line to ask questions? What? And Maria Shriver, Arnold Schwarzenegger's ex, is like, oh no, we have pre-selected questions already, but I'll try to ask some that might be in your head.
It might be in your head. Hey. Oh, so you mean we can't ask questions to the person we're supposed to vote for in 13 days? That is correct.
It's going to be so nice when Trump blows her out and the liberal tears start flowing. It's about damn time.
I can't wait. We waited how many years for this? 4 years for this. Oh,
right.
Oh, and all the people on TV, misogyny won, sexism and racism won. Oh,
bigotry won again. And then remember the shit they wanted to wear the pink hats and go on the women's march.
Hey, and you know whose fault it is? It's the straight Christian white men, of course, and black men. We're going to be thrown raked over the coals as well because we didn't vote for a sister girl.
Well, you're I can't wait. The official delegation of the black people on this channel. What is when you go to the black guy meetings, Jericho? What is the scuttlebutt? Is she Indian or is she black?
She's black. Don't ask any questions. Don't be curious. Don't say, well, she said this, but she was sworn in as. We don't want to hear any of that nonsense. She's darker than a sheet of printer paper. Therefore, ergo, she is black.
What do you think she's on? Do you think it's just booze, or do you think there's other illicit things when she's just crazy talking? Or is she just dumb?
No, it's probably. I think that's some liquor. I imagine people that sit close enough to her just like, whew. But yeah, she strikes me as the vodka type, or maybe wine. It's not. I'm not an alcoholic. It's wine.
It's
Maybe a white
Franzia out of a
wine.
box.
She always keeps one under her arm. Yeah, man. With lotion, like one of those camel packs where the tube just leads from it into her mouth, and she's just fucking sauced. And there's somebody on her staff where their only job is to make sure they take the camel pack off of her before she gets in front of the camera.
Oh my God.
That's their only job. Get that
It's
fucking
really,
camel pack off of her.
It's hard to believe she's real. She is something else.
Is she?
I just can't even understand people that, support her, and I just okay.
She is. Dude, she went in front of Telemundo, train wreck, NBC, train wreck, Flock, train wreck. Man, yeah, she better pass up Joe Rogan. Is she out of her fucking mind?
All the polls look horrible for her. All the voting that's coming in looks horrible for her. And if there's any truth to this, that she's winning Latinos 49 to, she's losing Latinos 49 to 38. And it makes a lot of sense. As the official Mexican delegation here on the channel, because I'm a little bit less than half Mexican, I will tell you, we legal citizens that are Mexicans do not like an open border. We don't like illegals coming here. No,
wait a minute.
Illegals, by the way, of any race. You don't get to cut the fucking line. You don't get to get free college tuition when we have to take student loans for our kids. You don't get free rent, free cell phone, free. I'm sitting here paying taxes. Get the fuck out of here. No.
Yeah.
No.
We're paying, not only we're paying taxes, we're paying super taxes. We're paying California taxes on top of all the federal money too.
Right. And her taxes, if Trump doesn't win and they do her tax stuff next year, I was looking at the highest income bracket, which is over 600,000. You would pay 37 federal and 14 in California. What's 37 and 14? Do you know what that is?
That sounds like over half to me. It sounds like 50.
Yeah. 37 to 14 is 51%. And that's before property tax. That's before sales tax. That's your car registration. You're giving these motherfuckers 60, 70% of your money.
Yep. That sounds like Europe. Yeah. That sounds like Europe. And at least over there, they have socialized medicine, where at least that's free. We'd still be paying for that. And that shit is crazy. And California, we pay more than everybody else. Yeah. In like taxes and shit. So if you're in California, it's like, holy shit. Right. But yeah,
and I will never back down from this. California is the best place in America to live as far as the geography. It's one of the most beautiful places on earth. There's a reason so many people live here. And these morons that run the government here, just doing everything they can to ruin it. Ugh. I'm staying and fighting. They have not chased me from my home yet. Not yet. It's too nice. You've been to my house. You know how close I live to the ocean. You know how beautiful the weather is where I live, Jericho. You've been here twice. Damn it. They're not chasing me away, damn it. It's too nice.
You know what, Gabe? I don't mean to put negative energy like out in the universe, dude, but you wait and see what happens when Big Baby gets school age.
And do you think I'd let her set foot in a public school?
But everywhere. I mean, unless you guys are planning on homeschooling.
Oh, homeschool for sure.
Yeah, but even private school, that shit seeps into that because those wealthy people and people with money, they usually, right, especially in California, tend to believe that bullshit. So yeah, man, it's awful.
Trump can leverage bullying, arm twisting tactics legally on Gavin Newsom and the California state government, federal stuff like that. Legally, he can twist their arm to maybe stop doing some of this crap. I think
because and Trump, he had legal teams upon legal teams to make sure everything that he does is every I is dotted, every T is crossed. It's above board. It's above, above reproach. All that shit, fine tooth comb. Like, of course he's gonna fucking check it out before he does it, you assholes. But anyway.
Yeah. Let's get into The Lost Boys. This is a California movie. This is an 80s movie. This is a freaking cool movie. I've wanted to see it since I was a little kid and saw it in those amazing newspaper ads in 1987 when I was in fourth grade or third grade or fourth grade. And I never saw it. And I saw it a week ago and like, wow, this exceeded my expectations. It was fun. It was moody. It had the proper amount of humor and action violence, and it wasn't scary, even though it was rated R. I guess there's a little bit of gore, but for nowadays, I guess it's whatever. If this came out now, I think it'd just be like PG-13. But basically, the premise is Santa Carla, California, which does not exist. It's Santa Cruz.
Oh, dude.
Kiefer Sutherland, Jason Patrick, Jamie Gertz, Alex Winter from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures there in the background, and the other two vampires, I don't know their names. They are vampires. They live up there in Santa Clara. They drink blood and kill people. They're young and sexy and having fun. They got a cave they live in near the beach. And and Jason Patrick is not a vampire. He moves to Santa Clara with his little brother and the mom.
Santa Carla.
Santa Clara
is real. That's a real place. Yeah.
That's hard to keep straight in my head. Santa Carla is not a real place. They move up there, Jason Patrick and Corey Haim, one of the two Coreys from the 80s. They move up there because the mom in Phoenix got a divorce, but wants the boys to have a male father figure. So she's moving with her hippie dad in Santa Carla. She's going to move her boys into this big house he has. So, and it's a crunchy groove up there, guys. A lot of chunky jewelry and flowy paisley dresses on the women, and funky colored like tie dye.
Yes,
it's really there's a big
painfully
hippie
80s
element in this area. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Santa Cruz. That's where they make hippies, and that's where they make surfer dudes.
Yeah,
like, that's where like people
tastiest waves this morning, bro.
Dude, just like that. Those people are real. That accent or that way of speaking comes from somewhere. And they
I had a friend in college named Jerry here in San Diego, and he totally talked this way, bro. But it was the craziest thing, dude. Because when I do this voice, you picture like a white boy with like a sunburned nose and like bleach blonde hair from the sun. This is like a little Filipino guy that was kind of stocky, bro. And he totally talked like this, dude.
So. Yeah. It's wild, man. It's wild. That's the culture.
Max, dude.
Dude, ride, bro. Like, dude, that's how people were, dude. But yeah, Santa Cruz, it's the place of, and it's world famous for surfing. Tons of hippies and shit like that. And you go down south and get in the Big Sur. These are legendary hippie spots.
Just so beautiful. That mid coastal California is just gorgeous.
Don't worry about getting a sunburn in Santa Cruz. It never gets really hot, but there are some nice days, and it's beautiful along being on the coast, the forest. The topography is amazing. But yeah, you get to the boardwalk, and this is, as a little kid, I was second grade when this came out. So I was maybe around, however long it took to get on video is when I saw it. And it was pretty scary. There's some parts that were scary. There's one part at the end that was scariest to me. But yeah, this is rated R, which tripped me out. I realized that when we watched it with our kids, like last Halloween, I was like, this shit's rated R. And I guess, yeah, there's some pretty crazy parts with the vampires, but it's nothing like too crazy, I didn't think. I figured this was an 80s PG-13. But yeah, this scene right here, these kids, the cool vampire. They're not just vampires, but they're cool vampires. The hair, the clothes, the fingerless gloves, the dirt bikes, like Gabe mentioned, the cave. These are like the coolest of the cool. And like Gabe mentioned, also the lineup: Kiefer Sutherland, Jason Patrick. You got both the Coreys in this movie. This shit's crazy.
Now, for those of you who don't know who the Coreys were, it's Corey Haim and Corey Feldman. I think there was another Corey maybe in the 80s who wasn't as popular, but the Coreys were in a bunch of movies together. License to Drive. They were in this. Were they both in Goonies? They were in a bunch of movies together, and they were like the heartthrob of middle school and teenage girls everywhere, the Coreys. And they were like, 15, 16-year-old, 17-year-old boys or whatever, and girls loved them. So, but
they have like some serious iconic movies under their belt.
Real quick, here is from 2008, the Lost Boys comic book I did for DC Comics. So this
I can't believe you haven't seen it, being that you even worked on it.
My wife bought me the DVD when I worked on this comic. And this is great looking, huh? This is fun. The grandpa turns into a vampire in this version. I don't remember the story, but it was fun. It's a lot of fun to work on this. Let's see what else we got. We got David. There's your Kiefer Sutherland, right? The house, right? All that stuff. So yeah, it was a really fun comic book to work on. killing vampires, doing all kinds of cool stuff.
So
yeah,
you knew the story, but you just never saw the movie.
Yeah, well, the comic book is not the movie. It's a different story. Same character, same setting, but it's like, I think it takes place obviously before this movie, because in the movie, spoiler, a lot of vampires die. So I don't know how they could be in the comic book if, you know, so. Yeah, thank you. Awesome. No Feldman was in Goonies.
Yeah, just Corey Haim. No.
Yeah,
Feldman.
Corey Feldman was in Goonies. Haim was not. That's right. That's right. Yeah, I got my Corey mixed up.
Haim is the blonde
Jamie
one.
Gertz. Jamie Gertz is one of those 80s beauties.
Yeah, that too. You know, he had the 80s hottie in here. And the 80s cherry on top, there's a little saxophone solo coming up, ladies, if you're going to want to go get a towel, because this dude is on fire. But yeah, these guys, they're getting harassed by, you know, their boardwalk punks. Get out of here, punks. You know, the boardwalk security's on. You see the guy with the nightstick over or around his throat, which is a little extreme. But he's going to pay for that. And yeah, they're just the local ruffians.
Right, and they're picking fights with other people, the vampire crew. And at the end of the night, that cop there, the fat cop with the mustache, he's walking back to his car, and it's implied that something flies in the air and attacks him and kills him. So, and then there's always like missing person posters everywhere on the boardwalk in Santa Clara, because these vampires, they hang out near the boardwalk and they drink blood when they get hungry.
In Santa Carla, right?
Santa Carla. I don't know. Since I worked on the comic book, I keep saying Santa Clara because that's a real place. You know,
well, Santa Carla for the purposes of this exercise.
Right. We're gonna try it, Santa Carla. I have a guy.
give it a shot, Gabe.
Yeah,
I'm not asking you to commit, but yeah, give it a shot. Try.
It was Tina Turner sax player. What's love got to do?
Hey, well, he earned it. He earned his stripes to be in this movie, and he had like no speaking part, but he's an iconic part of this movie. And then you hear the kind of the screeching, sounds like a bat, you know, but you see it fly over and then see the guy, and then he eventually sees like trying to, you know, get his key in the car, and then the vampire picks him up with such force that it rips the door off. I think that dude's arm would come off, or the handle would come off before the door.
He had amazing grip strength. He worked
on it. He had those little things like that.
The little rubber squeezer thing.
Yeah, a lot of jerking off. So if you want to improve your grip. But it flies over
the G.I. Joe Kung Fu grip.
Yeah, every guy knows. But it's cool because the vampire flies over the giant dipper, so you get to see that, and then the parking lot. And it was also cool because everybody's parked in that damn parking lot. It's the one right in front of the boardwalk.
And just like nowadays, that would have been a drone shot, and in the 80s, that would have to be a helicopter shot. So
yeah, and they have to get pretty low, like a crane or something, because that camera it came down on him. So yeah, maybe
now it'll be a little 2-foot drone with a freaking iPhone on it.
Yep, come down, bang, we're done. And they don't have to be real people. We'll AI that shit.
Right. So the mama and her 2 boys, and I think Corey Haim is supposed to be 12, 13. He's like an older middle school guy. And then his brother looks like a high school senior type, because it's right before school starts. Because she mentions later in the movie that they're messing around, staying out all night. And she says something to the older brother, Jason Patrick, in the backseat. You can't do this when school starts back up or something like that. So you realize, he's not a college guy. He's high schooler, because he does look like 22, 23. And I looked it up. In real life, he was 21 when he filmed this. So.
Oh, wow. So a little
welcome to Santa Carla.
There you go.
Not Santa Clarita, not Santa Clara, Santa Carla. Santa Clarita is in the valley north of Hollywood, and that is where Six Flags Magic Mountain is.
Yeah, it gets hot there. I'll tell you that.
A little bit hot.
I'll tell you that. Yeah, and you can see it. Yeah, that's the real boardwalk. You can see how busy it is. And the whole beach is like that. And it gets more packed than that.
Right.
Like thousands of people on the beach, especially if it's a sunny day.
It reminds me in a very abstract way of Jaws. You got the beach community. They're there. They're carefree. They're having fun. They're enjoying the summer. And there's a vicious eaters, the vampires, coming from the sea almost. It's just a touch of Jaws in it. Just a touch.
Yeah, because they fly in from the coast in the beginning of the movie. And this is also like Jaws, where in the town is very dependent on tourism. because like I said, the boardwalk closes in October. You know, like most places, like when it starts getting cold, nobody wants to go to the beach. But it's funny because you'll see people come from out of town, they come from the Bay Area, come from all over the world, and they go to the boardwalk and they're thinking, they see shit like this and they think California, it's always sunny, and at the beach, you know, everybody's in a two-piece bikini and board shorts, and we could just go out there and put our towel down and chill. And then you fucked around and came on the day when it's a little thing called overcast comes in at like 3 p.m, and now you're forced to go to the boardwalk and pay $50 each for your family to get a sweatshirt that says Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk on it.
We don't have that
so
here. That's a middle and Northern California thing. Down here in San Diego, you can go to the beach year round. Down here, it's a lot warmer. We have the overcast is in the morning here. In June, it's like in May and June, we have what we call June gloom in San Diego. And in the morning until like lunchtime, the beach is overcast, and then it burns off all those like gray clouds, and then it's blue skies the rest of the day. So
no, it can be nice, but then definitely 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the overcast is coming in and it gets chilly because you're, you know, on the coast. So just, you know, based on the way the coastline goes in and out, we get a lot of fog and stuff. But one thing you can do in Santa Cruz that you can't do a lot of other places is at the right time of year when the seals are having their pups, you can take your chances out there surfing because it's part of the red triangle. And that's where the great whites come to feed once a year.
Right.
So you can also get, and speaking of Jaws, you can get a real live Jaws experience right off the beach. And people will go out there and act like the water's not freezing. It's so funny. That water is fucking ice cold.
Yeah, we've got some really cool. The beach, I love the ocean. It's so majestic and just mind-blowing. Just you feel God's presence when you look at. I always say I live right by the ocean, and I'll be driving down the 5 freeway. You just look to your right when the sun is setting, and it's just like the most majestic thing in the world. Yeah. We have some interesting beach stuff here. Every couple years, we'll get that bioluminescent algae. So if you go to the beach and you walk at night, every footstep you take in the wet sand, it glows blue around your foot. And the breakers, the waves coming in, the crest of them that's usually white during the day, it's neon blue. It's amazing. And if you go kick and splash the water, everywhere you kick and splash, it's like Avatar. It's glowing blue. It's so awesome. That only happens every couple of years. But then every year we have this one night. It's the Grunion Run. And it's just one night or 2 nights a year. And these little, like, they're like mackerels. They're like grunion, these little fish. And they all come right up to like the shallow surf right there. And they're spawning and mating. And people catch a ton of them and eat them. But it happens in the middle of the night for some reason. I think it happens in the winter or the spring. I don't remember the Grunion Run. But it's always on the news. You know, that's a great thing about, you know, wherever you live, there's always the local thing. You know, it's cool. So.
Make sure you wash all the jizz off of those fish if they're spawning. Ew.
Right. They're all spawning. You just pull them out. They're all stuck together. Like,
all the males look tired. Like, definitely wash this batch. But yeah, that's the California coastline portion of Double Impact.
Right.
But this movie is awesome. Again, if you're from there, this is so cool to see the shit. That's the hippie grandpa. He's even complete with the bolo tie and the headband. And he's like, you know, classic old man. I don't give a shit what you guys think. This is how I live. This is what I do. And you're welcome to be here. But and he has
he's a bachelor. He's got like a sticker or something on the fridge that said "old fart," and then all his snacks are there. I think he has Oreos and Dr. Pepper, and he tells the boys that nobody touches these 2 things. They're mine. And he's a widower. Grandma died years ago. And he's a taxidermist. He catches animals and dries them and stuffs them.
So there's all this stuffed shit everywhere, these animals and skulls and deer, you know, antlers and shit everywhere. He's a very strange old man, but he's a good dude. You know, you can tell he's willing to, you know, impart some wisdom upon these boys. And he's a good role model for him.
I like to go up to the mountains to the old cowboy gold mines and stuff here. That's like Bates Nut Farm and Julian and all that. It's like 45 minutes from where I live. And what I found is politically, there's a horseshoe. The more you go to the right, conservative, rugged individual cowboy, eventually the other side of the left-wing politics goes around to the crunchy groove nature hippie. And when you go up to the historical cowboy town, they're living there in harmony. And they both love nature. They both love like the freedom of being alone out there. It's the weirdest thing out there. They're like, again, it's like a horseshoe. They got so different. They came back around and they're super similar again. So that's what this grandpa's like. He's like a macho guy. He's obviously a hunter and this, that, but he's like a crunchy groove, bro. He's got his headband and his ponytail, man. And he grows his own weed. His grandsons, they do find it. So he's like that libertarian, crunchy groove kind of, I don't know. He seems like a cool grandpa.
Yeah, that's a great time. Another great thing about the 80s, it was kind of cool to see that mix of the two cultures. Our grandparents, when they weren't too old, our parents, and they were still pretty young, and just the time that it was, where he could be, a crunchy old, hippie hunter dude who grows his own weed and eats his fucking Oreos and Dr. Pepper, man. Just leave him alone. We weren't, oh man, it's just having social media. And of course, social media brings us together, and there are pros to it, but the cons, this was a time when, it was just different. We were more connected, but we were less connected electronically, I guess.
Yeah, I do feel like social media and the smartphones are a net negative. I feel like there's more negative than positive to them. Yeah, I feel like they have the potential to be the most positive thing in the world, but in practice, they are not. And another thing is, I don't like to touch anyone's phone in public. I had a realization a few years ago. Like, someone's like, "Can you take a picture of us and hand you their phone?" Gross me out. I know they read that phone on the toilet. And I know they don't wash that phone when they're done. They wash their hands. They don't wash the phone. Everyone you see reads their phone on the toilet. And then they want to hand you their phone. Every last person reads their phone on the toilet.
Fucking jerks it and then grabs their phone. I probably had it the whole time. And hey man, can you snap a photo real quick? Don't watch my jizz on that button right there.
Heather says, "I can't believe I've never seen the movie." Me neither, Heather. I hadn't seen
what, Heather? You haven't seen this movie? This movie's awesome.
It's like $3 on Amazon Prime. You'll love it. Yeah, it's only an hour and a half, and it is the best of the 80s. And it has Richard Donner and Joel Schumacher and other people that were involved with the Goonies. Remember, the Goonies is a Richard Donner film. This is a Richard Donner film. He did not direct, but he did produce and all that. So this is a more scary, rated R kind of Goonies feel. It does have that fun kids defeating the vampire bad guys kind of thing to it. It does focus on the older brother, Jason Patrick, right there in the middle. It does focus on him and the older, like 20-year-old people more. But the whole Corey Haim, Corey Feldman, and the other nerdy kid, the Frog Brothers, we'll meet them later. They run the comic book store, and they know vampires are real, and nobody believes them. And they professionally hunt vampires, is what they claim. This has that element of Goonies. It's a little hard to see it, but it does have that whimsical fun of Goonies, just a touch. More scary, more serious, more blood, but it is fun that way. And not a scary movie. I thought it was going to be like a scary movie, and not a scary movie at all.
No, not at all. There's some scary parts, but like the part where he's coming back in the house, and he's like, or she's coming back in the house, and she's like running down the walkway, but nothing crazy.
Yeah, I guess.
It's not like a horror movie at all. And this dude.
So the brothers, they go to the boardwalk that night to see what's what in their new town. And what's this guy's story, Jericho?
Hey, man, he's seen it all. He's done it all, and this is just him kind of still riding that wave.
This guy has a very thick Barcelona accent. He's from Madrid, Spain.
No, that's all American, dude. This dude's that's all American right there, man.
I see the list, the cerveza, please.
No, dude, he flew in from New York last night. These guys are fucking coked up.
Wait, you think this guy's like a New Yorker playing the saxophone?
No, they just came in from New York doing a show.
Is he wearing
these guys are just fucking, hell yeah. These guys are coked the fuck out.
Wait,
they never
he's
slept.
Got like pink purple tights on, a chain studded belt, and a second chain or studded belt. And then I guess a leather codpiece.
Yeah.
This guy means serious business.
So the hands are above the head. He's gyrating. Ladies, right. I told you to grab something, and if you can listen to me, it's your fault. He hasn't even started playing the fucking saxophone yet.
Right.
This is just the warm-up. This is the build-up to the sax solo. And he was doing it, man. And it was like a major part of this scene. Like they kept cutting to it. And the song that he was playing, was building with the intensity of the scene and all that stuff, because it's when Jason Patrick is meeting Gertz for the first time, and they're getting all flirtatious. She has a little brother with her and shit. And then, come on, you know, the cool vampires. They show up. So
go ahead. So I'm getting something ready because we're gonna settle not an argument. We're gonna settle something here though. But keep going.
But this music scene is very pivotal to the scene that it's intercut with. So they're on the boardwalk and shit. It's their first night checking it out. Corey Haim, he finds a comic book store, and that's when he meets the Frog Boys for the first time. So there's a lot of firsts here. And again, like Gabe said, it's an hour and a half, so shit starts happening.
All right,
pretty quick. We're
gonna have a vote. I'm gonna show you guys two things, and then we're gonna decide who's better. Okay. Now I know who I like, but you know. Okay, here it is. Now, hopefully, when I share this, it won't play a commercial. I'm only gonna play like 5-10 seconds because I don't want the copyright things. Okay, here we go. 5 seconds of this.
Yeah.
Hold on. Where is he? We need to find him. Let me see. Oh, right here. Okay. Okay, we got the gyrating hips, the oily muscles. Or is this better? And you could hear that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Or is this guy better? Because we'll see this. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Okay. Is this guy the better saxophone guy? All right. Well, what do you think?
I don't think there's any comparison. Fucking Lost Boys sax guy.
I like
that guy hands up.
I like the
not only
guy.
No, because this Lost Boys saxophone dude, he can play the sax and he can sing. And in real life, I think he would fuck that dude up. So,
well, he would definitely beat the tar out of that guy.
He would beat the shit out of that little Euro turd. So yeah, I'm going Lost Boys saxophone all day. There's no comparison.
Okay, I'll start an official poll. Start a poll. Lost Boys sax.
Who would pick the other dude?
We'll see. I like the Euro sax better.
No way. No way. Lost Boys sax all day.
I love them both, but I like the Euro sax better. Okay, the poll question is up, guys.
People, you know what to do. Just like how you're going to do on November 5th, do the right thing.
Okay, well, we got 100% for the Lost Boys sax.
Yeah, thank you.
I like the Euro guy. I love them both. I like the Euro guy a little bit better. We'll come back to the poll later.
Look at this dude. And he can sing too. That's what puts him over the edge.
That is true.
He plays the sax like a motherfucker, and he can sing too. So come on.
So Corey Feldman and his older brother Jason Patrick.
Yeah.
They
is that Haim or Feldman? That's Haim.
Holy Santa Clara, Haim, Feldman. Get it together, Gabe.
I'm sorry. Sorry that I want to call these people in these places by their proper name.
Right. Heather, they both seem gay. Well,
you got a point, Heather. You got a point.
Same guy who likes crunchy peanut butter would pick the Euro sax guy.
Damn.
That's
what you call a statement.
But here
I agree with it 100%.
I misspelled that. Jeez. I was looking up Squirtle, the Pokemon sax, and I almost wrote Squirtle sex in the YouTube search.
That's going to take you somewhere.
That could have been embarrassing.
That'll take you
this is why I like this guy better. Hold on. And we'll get back to the movie. Share screen.
There's no one better. That's the greatest saxophone player ever lived.
This is why I like Euro sax better, because this video means something to me. Oh.
So you have some kind of sentimental attachment to it. That's why you're biased.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Well, when Big Baby,
you forgot to mention that.
A year ago, when Big Baby would cry, I would play that video for her on my phone. And
well, you didn't mention that. You didn't mention that it's some kind of connection to your granddaughter. Of course, you're going to pick that Euro turd.
Right.
Is there such thing as too biased?
Squirtle sax, not Squirtle sex, which I typed into the search bar on YouTube.
I mean, we can talk about that, but we want to stick to
the movie.
No,
we will not. No, thank you.
We can. If the people want to talk about it, that's what we're going to do. But we're trying to stick to the movie. We don't want to get into Squirtle sex.
What if Steven Skull played this part? That's what think about what you think about wants to know.
He'd be wearing like some Indian Native American fucking Nehru jacket.
Actually, I actually turned this part down. A lot of people don't know that.
I doubt that.
How are you doing, Jericho? It's great to see you again. I've been wanting to play my jazz solos for you. It's been too long.
I was doing okay.
What do you mean? What happened? What happened? Is there a way I could help?
No. Yeah, there's a way you could help.
Huh? What is it? Anything. I'll do anything you need.
You promise?
Absolutely. Would I lie to you? Look at these orange glasses. Would I lie to you?
Yeah, you're right. Anybody wearing those?
Absolutely.
They're all about the
I
truth.
call these my honesty glasses. I wear them, and when I wear these honesty glasses, I make a promise to myself and my sensei that I will only speak the truth.
That's great, man. You could not play anything. That's a great way for you. That's probably the best way for you to help.
I don't understand.
Well, it's easy. Put your guitar down, and then that'll help.
I thought you loved my jazz riffs.
Not right now.
Not right now. Oh, it must be bad. You can share it with me, whatever it is, Jericho. You don't have to be embarrassed. I'll accept you no matter what.
Well, okay. You want me to be honest?
I only want you to be honest.
Okay, I don't want to hear it. So that's why you can put your guitar down. So I don't want to hear it.
Do you like it though? But you do love my guitar, just not right now.
Well, if we're still on Honesty Street, we haven't taken any turns, have we?
No, we're going straight down the road, 80 miles an hour, pedal to the metal, Honesty Street.
No, I'm not a fan.
Not a fan.
No, not a fan. Your movies, your first 5 movies, I'll give you 6 or 7. 6 or 7 movies. And number 6 and 7 are crazy.
Okay.
But I'll give you those. Your first 7 movies, I can watch them.
But my guitar, you're not a fan. You're a super fan.
No, I don't like it at all. I don't know if you heard that part. Let's see. This thing on? I said I don't like it.
Oh, that's too bad.
I don't want to hear it. Actually, I'm not sure why you keep coming back. I don't know if you're being invited. I don't know if Gabe's doing that. I don't know if somebody's sending you emails, but
well, I let myself in. Gabe said that he left the key under the rock out front.
So we're gonna have to talk to Gabe. We have to talk to Gabe and get him to move that key, or just not have one outside at all, because we can't keep having this.
Hey, I gotta go, but could you?
Yeah.
I don't have anything on me, and Uber doesn't allow me to ride in their Ubers anymore, nor does Lyft. I'm banned from both. Do you think you can give me a couple bucks for the city bus?
Yes. Will this be the last time that we're going to have this kind of interaction?
Today, it will be the last time today. That is for sure.
No. I mean for life.
No, I'll definitely be back.
Oh, okay. Well, then, there are other ways that you can scrounge up a couple bucks for the city bus. So
you don't want me to leave.
Good luck in your endeavors.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna go. But yes, I was up for the role of sexy saxophone man. The problem was I was too sexy for it. They said my ponytail was just distracting all the women.
Now so that I believe. That I believe. At that time, I'm sure your ponytail was legendary.
Also, I insisted on playing my guitar and not a saxophone, and they wouldn't have it.
I think that's what did it.
Well, I'm gonna go. Namaste. Tell Gabe I said hi.
Yeah.
Oh man, who was that, Jericho? I just missed him. Some guy running out the back door.
Yeah, lock that back door. Lock it and wedge a chair under the door handle.
Is there something going on? Something I should know?
No, man. I don't even want to put it back out in the universe. But
why do I smell Drakkar Noir?
That's Steven. That's the golf's favorite scent.
What is that? It's like Drakkar Noir and like a pastry of some kind, like a bear claw,
and like a leather jacket with tassels on the arms, and can you smell silver and turquoise jewelry? I'm not sure.
I only smell silver and turquoise right now.
Sure, yeah. That's part of it too. Has to be.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Okay. A lot. What a change.
Who knows? Tony says she smells coconut oil. Well, as long as it's not baby oil,
Yeah, then you got a problem.
Yeah.
Especially
in toilet.
Toilet. Oh.
Drakkar Noir. Okay, so anyway, they go to the boardwalk.
Yeah.
They're watching Sexy Saxophone Man gyrating and thrusting and pumping. And this handsome fella Jason Patrick, the older brother, he's there with Corey Feldman. He cannot stop staring at one beautiful Jamie Gertz. And she does that and then runs off and disappears, you know?
Yeah. He's like, dude, right after her. Now, is this just her being, you know, a sexy young chick, or is this her like vampirism?
It's revealed later what she was up to, remember?
Mm-hmm.
David, the head vampire, Kiefer Sutherland, had given her a specific order of what she was supposed to do with Michael, Jason Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
Then we run into the video store where we run into this older gentleman who's been in a lot of commercials and TV. The guy on the left there, you'll see his face later.
Mm-hmm.
And he runs his video store. He works at night at the video store, and the hooligans come in, the vampire guys on it. He's like, I thought I told you guys not to be in here. Get the hell out of here. And you can tell there's a lot of tension between Kiefer Sutherland's gang of vampires. And is this guy's name Max? I don't remember.
I believe so.
So let me look that up. But you can tell there's tension.
That's another 80s name, Max.
Right. But hold on, I'm looking real quick, trying to find him here. No, I don't know. It doesn't matter. He's the video store owner. Oh, yes, it is.
Yeah, Max. Max.
Okay. Just like Blade, it always starts with a lady. That's right. So we're setting the stage here. And the younger brother, the younger Corey, Michael, Jason Patrick's little brother, he slips into the comic book store and as a comic book creator and collector, I'm looking at thousands and thousands of dollars of classic 80s, like Bronze Age comics on these shelves. These are real DC comics. This is a Warner Brothers movie. Did Warner Brothers own DC at this time? I don't think they did quite yet. But yeah, these are valuable now. These are almost 40-year-old comics. My goodness. And he goes in there and he meets these two brothers, the Frog Brothers. What a great last name, by the way. I don't think anyone in real life, his last name is Frog, that I've ever met or heard of. But I think for a comic booky vampire movie, it's a great last name, the Frog Brothers. And they're super serious about vampires, dude. You better watch out. And they test this guy on his knowledge of comics. And he knows everything about comics. And he tells him, you shouldn't have this one here. You should have it there. It's like, he's a nerd like us. And then they hand him a vampire comic that kind of goes into the details of how vampires work and how to kill them and all that. And these two claim that there are really vampires and they know how to get rid of them.
Yeah, and it's kind of that instant, not friendship, but like they're cool with each other. You know, that's how boys are. You know, they just meet each other. Yeah, you seem cool. We're cool. And then, he gives the vampire, pretty much the guide to killing a vampire. And at first he's like, oh, this is silly. But he takes it, which is good.
Right.
And the artwork is pretty cool.
Yeah, I wonder who did that, Yeah,
that shit was pretty cool.
There was this amazing, we're going to take an art break for just a second. Gene Colan, rest in peace, one of the great artists at Marvel and DC and all that back in the 60s and 70s. He did some Dracula stuff that is out of this world. I'll just open this one. We're not going to go too far into this because if I start going down the road of vampire and comic book art, I'm going to derail the hell out of this show. But here are some pencils from the great Gene Colan for some of the Dracula stuff. It's just outrageously good. And I like that he's doing a Dracula with a mustache. This is so good.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys appreciate comic book art, but it's good stuff. Very good. That shit's
cool. Yeah, what was that? Castlevania.
Right.
Dracula has a facial hair in that one too.
Right. But yeah, this is Gene Colan is one of the masters when it comes to Dracula and horror stuff. He did a ton of stuff for Marvel and DC, but absolutely outrageously talented artist. I wonder if he did this cover. I can't tell. I'm sure I can look it up, but it's got a little bit of his look. A little bit. It's blurry, but I think it has the mustache. I can't tell if that's his. Who the hell knows? But that's not a real comic book that I've ever heard of, Vampires Everywhere. I think it was specially made for the movie. I could be wrong.
Yeah, well, he did draw that.
Notice anything weird about Santa Carla? See, I caught it that time.
But you started this game.
I did. Now I'm throwing people off.
Santa Carla did. Fuck, dude.
So, Jericho, how do you feel about how this movie sets the tone. It's fun. It's California beachside, the pier, bikinis, board shorts. Somebody gets eaten by a vampire. There's a weird video store guy and a weird comic book store kids. Like, I love the way that's building. Do you appreciate that, or what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's great, man. I love it. I love how it started off. You know, everything's cool. You know, it's showing the people walking around, and you got, you know, when you're strange, walking around, when you're strange. That shit's playing. It's like an upbeat, happy song. And they're showing everybody at the boardwalk. It's sunny out. They're driving in the car and shit. Mom is being annoying. Mom, stop. All this shit. And they're driving and they're happy. They're somewhere new. She's going to see her dad. It's in the beginning. It's the summer. You're going to start school. Everything was cool. And then, the ruffians show up, and next thing you do, some dudes get snatched up into the sky. But, you know, that's weird. But then we're bouncing back. Then it's the first night at the boardwalk. You know, the oiled up sax dude. There's a hot chick, and they're meeting people. And then this scene right here kind of brings it back down. Like, hey, snap out of it. The shit's real. There's vampires. You know, and then, but they weren't brought back out. You know, when David is, you know, hanging out and shit, and it's kind of cool. But yeah, the roller coaster ride is great. It's perfect. And now you mentioned that Richard Donner had something to do with it. He was a producer. That makes sense that they have that opening shot kind of on the coastline, because he's done that in other movies.
You're right.
Where he's like, you know, off the coastline, like a helicopter or something, or like you said, now would be a fucking drone. But yeah, this movie is perfect. One of the rarest instances where you have all of these heavy hitters in a business, you know, I guess in this case, a movie, and it works.
Right. Yeah, it's like sometimes in the pro sports, they'll put a super team together and then it sucks, you know?
Yeah, it doesn't work. Or artists, you know, super group doesn't work. You know?
Yeah, we'll get to the dirt bikes on the beach and on the miser. We'll get to that. But yeah, so anyway, the comic book store nerd kids, they're trying to tell Corey Haim in the center with the whitish clothes. They're trying to tell him this is all real, and he's like, these guys are full of beans. Like, whatever, it's not real.
So look how he's dressed. You got the Miami Vice sleeves rolled up. The hair, the jacket and that shirt look terrible together, but in the 80s, hey, that was everything.
It was very 80s. Yeah. Michael Coulter says, "Oh man, I miss that old school comic book artwork." Yeah, well, if you love comics that are done traditionally with a beautiful artwork and amazing stories, guys, I'm gonna have next Wednesday night. The great Dean Cain will be on this show with Jericho and I, because Dean and I are going to be explaining what the hell this is. So pay attention to me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, all over the place. There'll be some more clues, but there is something. We didn't forget you at the holidays. There's something. I'm working on books that are coming out in 2025, but I've got something beautiful for you before then, before the end of the year. There's something you guys are going to love. So next Wednesday, Dean, Jericho, and I will reveal all.
Yes.
You'll find out. If you love awesome comics and awesome artwork, you'll find out next Wednesday, 7 p.m. Pacific. Dean will be here. So it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, boy.
That's right.
Send me that graphic and I'll put it up.
Oh, will do, sir.
A boot. I'll put it in a boot.
Nice art, Gabe. I want to ask if we can do art streams one day. You know, I might do it. I don't know how many views those get. I think those are really like inside baseball. And I don't know what kind of appeal they have. I like doing it. I could show you real fast some of the work I did today. This is a character designs for the Tyrus comic. I'm working on this one lady. She's a warrior. I drew this on my iPad today. She's a horseback warrior. Her name's Gorgon. And just sketching out some designs for this character. You know what I mean? She has like kind of a Mongolian motif to her clothes and stuff like that. So I drew that on my iPad. So I'm doing some character design for it. There's a lot of Hitman Comics has a lot going on, guys. We got a lot going on, but we love it. I'm busier than I've ever been. But art streams, you know, I think about it sometimes. I don't know how popular they are. I might do it. What do you think, Jericho? Do you think art stream is good, or do you think it's lame?
I mean, if you're feeling it, yeah. You know, never mind the size of the crowd. If you're feeling it, you're feeling you want to do that shit, and you're feeling you want to, you know, teach and show, fucking do it.
Yeah, it might be fun to draw something on stream. Maybe draw some of that concept art and talk to the audience while I do it. So who knows? Because that's one good thing about visual art, drawing and coloring and all that. I can talk while I do it because they're two separate parts of the brain. If I was typing and writing a script, I obviously can't talk to you guys. And why would you want to watch me type anyway? It'd be silly. So these two were making out and having fun at the boardwalk earlier, where all all the young people are going to the concert and all that. And then someone flies over their car where they're in the back reading comics, rips the roof off the car, and then lifts them into the sky. But we still don't see who it was. But we're assuming it's flying vampires, since that's what this movie is about.
You can hear it. Again, you hear that screeching and stuff, but they don't show you anything yet. They just lift it. And
again, that's fun. That's kind of like in Jaws, where you have the monster and he keeps eating people, but you don't see it. And you don't see it until you get the "we're going to need a bigger boat" moment. That's the first time you see him, and the movie's way more than halfway over at that point in Jaws.
Yeah, and you know that it's never good to have the roof ripped off your car and lifted up in the air. So you know it's nothing good.
No. Now you've had the roof ripped off a car you were in once, not me though. When your dad,
and it wasn't good.
When your dad ripped the air conditioner off of the RV he borrowed from his friend at Disneyland.
Yeah, and it wasn't good. Like I said. So I stick to that. It was
that is horrible. I went to Disneyland on Sunday. I did not go inside Disneyland Park. There's Disneyland California Adventure is one theme park, and Disneyland is the other. And in the middle of them is a long walkway with 100 restaurants and shops and all that. And there's a beautiful hotel there called the Grand Californian or something. And it's like the Northern California Oak Lodges up in the mountains and the trees and all that. One of the most beautiful places. And there's a great bistro there. So me and Big Baby and my wife went up there and we took her to lunch there and then took her inside the Disney store and got her like a Mickey and Minnie action figure. She could not handle the Disney store. She was like, no, she wanted everything she saw. But I was just up at good old Disney this weekend. So
giving them a few shekels.
Right, giving shekels to a company that absolutely hates America and American culture. Why? Why am I doing that?
Because you want something better for your granddaughter. You want
her
to have...
Who doesn't love Mickey Mouse, Donald? Come on.
They don't.
So anyway, after the concert is over, Michael catches up to the one Jamie Gertz.
Yeah, and sweetie.
Yeah, why don't you get on the back of this bike? I'm gonna take you for a ride tonight.
You're on the front of it.
Hell yeah. And it's a power move that Kiefer Sutherland, he's in the foreground there with the bleach blonde hair. She gets on the bike with him, and then he's like, no, get off of that. And she gets off. Damn. How would you feel as a man if you got a woman on your bike and another dude just snatches her up?
I dip. I mean, it's not like they have some history together. I'd be like, hey, you really gonna do that shit? I'm out.
It's humiliating though.
Yeah. I mean, not really. I think if he had more invested in her, it might be. But right at this moment, she's just some, cute chick that he was gonna hook up with, or he thought he would, or whatever. But I'm out. Night's still young, bitch. Right. Now, if he wanted to make more of it, that'd be different. But as far as I'm concerned, fuck you, bitch. I'm out.
So then David and the vampires, they challenge Michael to ride, race us up the hill, whatever. And he's like, hey, my bike isn't faster than yours. He's like, it doesn't matter. Just go. And they drive, and it's all weird and crazy. And then it's just foggy, and you can't see anything. Can you imagine speeding on a bike? And they go through the desert, and they go up into the hills and the trees. You're speeding on a dirt bike, and you can't see 10 feet in front of you.
That's scary.
I remember
that's scary.
In 2017 or 18, I drove to Colorado. My dad lives there. My son was going to college there at CU Boulder. So I'd go visit, and I like to drive. I fly occasionally, but I like to drive better. And I was driving the Eisenhower Pass on I-70. This is the Rocky Mountains. These are 14,000. The elevation is crazy on some of these mountains. And the Eisenhower Tunnel is the longest tunnel in America. It's like, I don't know, a couple miles long. You drive through a mountain. And when you go in one side and you come out the other, the weather's different because you went through the continental divide of the United States. You went from one side of the mountains to the other. And a lot of times you'll come out and it's freezing cold and whatever. And I remember going down the hill outside of that tunnel, and it was so thick with fog and ice and snow, I couldn't see 20, 30 feet in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
You're on a highway driving like that. And I just put on the hazards. You don't put your high beams on in the fog, people. That makes it worse. And it was creepy, dude. I was driving in this fog, and other cars would just materialize out of the fog and then disappear and go past me. Oh.
And all you're doing is picturing one of those cars careening into yours over.
And you're on an icy mountain, hundreds of feet above the Colorado River. You could fall into the ravine and into the canyon, and
it's over.
Smash onto the rocks, and there's just ice all over the ground. And so I don't go visit in the winter. when it's driving. I guess I'll fly instead. But yeah, I don't like drive. I mean, I will, but I don't prefer it. I like to go in the spring and the summer, obviously, when there's no ice.
Dude, that fog, that Thule fog, man. If you don't get behind an 18-wheeler, you're fucked. That shit is so.
What is Thule fog? I don't know what that is.
Oh, it's really, really thick fog that's like right off the end of your car. Like your headlights can't pick shit up.
It's I didn't know it had a
thick.
name. Maybe that's what I was in because I really couldn't see more than a few feet in front of my car.
No, it's crazy thick, man. And like you said, cars will materialize and then disappear. It's really, really thick fog. The biggest car pileup in American history was down south. I think it was like San Bernardino or something, somewhere in Southern California.
Oh, I think I know where it was. There's you're in the high desert, a couple thousand feet elevation, and you're in Hesperia. This is between San Diego and Las Vegas. I always drive through there. And there's a thing called the Cajon Pass. And you go up a couple thousand feet in a few miles. When you come home from Vegas, you go down. When I come home from Vegas, it's the morning and there's, condensation, all that. And there's fog in the Cajon Pass. So you're driving through the desert. It's dry and sunny. And all of a sudden you start going down thousands of feet in just a few miles. And it's filled with fog. It's a valley and people crash at the bottom. And I was stuck in traffic for like an hour up in the desert section because dozens of cars crashed at the bottom of the Cajon Pass. So maybe that's where you're talking about because it's bad a lot when I come home from Vegas. If you come at the wrong time, there's going to be a lot of fog in the pass. So
it was some stretch of highway and there were just car after car after car. They just kept crashing. I can't remember the number of cars.
That's terrible, man.
20 or something. It was crazy, man. That fog is fucking dangerous.
So the vampire gang challenges Michael to ride his bike. And they're going crazy. It's super dangerous. And they almost get him to drive off of a cliff, a beachside cliff where he would have died. It was at least, 50, 60, 70 feet to the ground, and it was rocky.
Oh, yeah, man. It's a wrap.
So, yeah.
It's a
See,
wrap.
Heather's saying, I have to take that pass home when I go to California. I hate it. Yeah, it could be a big backup there. It could be. Oh, Eisenhower Tunnel, 1.693 miles westbound, 1.697 eastbound. Yeah. So there you go. That's the tunnel in Colorado.
Says approximately 25 miles south of Los Angeles on Interstate 10. Involved 216 vehicles and 41 injuries.
Insane. Well, that's
November
not what the Cajon Pass is. Cajon Pass is not on the 10. Cajon Pass is on the 215 or the 15. It's on the 15. Yeah, it's on the 15.
So that's crazy.
So anyway, Michael ditches his dirt bike mere feet from the edge of the cliff. It reminded me of Indiana Jones going over the cliff in the army tank in Indiana Jones 3. Kind of reminded me of that scene.
I thought I lost you, boy.
And they get Michael, the vampires, to go to their little cave and go in with them and have a drinky poo out of a bottle. Some red stuff that looks like booze,
but it's like you can tell it's a really old, like an ancient bottle. Has all these designs and like calligraphy and shit all over. Like it's all dusty.
It looks like it has diamond and jewels encrusted in the outer thing over the glass. Yeah.
So that's telling you that those vampires are also really old. They're not just, bit at that age. Look at
there
it. It's like a king's bottle or something. So yeah, it looks really old. So it tells you that, these vampires are probably hundreds of years old. They happen to be young when it happened. So they've been here and have been doing this for a long time.
Right. So yeah, they get him to drink. He feels all weird. And then they take him, and it's a great scene. They go to a train track bridge and they all hang down as the train goes over. And imagine doing a dead hang. How long can the average person do a dead hang? They're hanging for a minute or two or whatever, and they lose their grip one by one and fall into the fog. And it's kind of nice that it's not CGI. It's obviously like they're in a soundstage somewhere in Hollywood, and they just put fog and they fall into big like foam mattresses. But it's a pretty good 80s kind of optical illusion special effect. I like it. It very much has like a rock music video look to it or something like that,
Imagine how scary that would be. Still dropping you still can't see, what's below you when you're dropping. It'd be pretty scary.
So Michael's freaking out. He's saying to David, like, what did you do to me? What's going on? And all the vampires just laughing at him and just telling him he's one of them now, and this is fun. This is how we live. And he falls, not knowing he's turning into a vampire yet, not knowing, but loses the grip, falls. Then, so the next morning, he's just destroyed on the bed. So obviously everyone at home thinks he was just out drinking and partying, you know?
Yeah.
So
And they didn't know that he was drinking the ancient blood of vampires and all this kind of shit. Like, Mom, I was in a little bit more than that.
now, you were in the military, you were in the Navy, and
Yep.
I've heard sailors can put a few back when they go on liberty sometimes. What did you ever get like this? Did you ever get horizontal the next morning? And how do you report for duty when you are, as they say, toe up from the flow up? How do you report for duty if you're ready to just vomit the whole time without getting in trouble from your CO?
Well, if it makes it to your CO, you really fucked up. Like you would get in trouble from like the more immediate supervisors. But yeah, I've been like that before. After a night out in Sicily, just destroyed. But to answer your question, you better show up for muster. You better be there. You better do what you have to do. There is no. I mean, you could not do it, but man, if you don't show up for muster,
how much did they look into your activities? Let's say you were out, you guys are drinking, you get into a bar fight, you get a black eye, you get back to the ship, and you're fine the next day. You're a little hungover, you're fine, but you got a shiner. You got a big purple eye. Is your guy, your supervisor, he's going to ask you what the hell's going on, or he's just going to leave it alone?
No, they'll definitely ask you what the hell's going on, because then you could get into, destruction of government property kind of shit. So it just depends. If you're underway, I mean, yeah, you're going to, if anything, you'll face justice aboard the ship. You might get reduced liberty, but you'll get it back. But if you, like, let's say you get all fucked up and you don't show up to muster, and muster is when everybody goes to their divisions, their departments, and you get in ranks and line up, and they take roll call to make sure everybody came back, make sure everybody fell over the fucking boat in the middle of the night. But if you're so fucked up that they have to come get you out of bed, then you're probably looking at restriction of liberty, where you have to either be back at a certain time, like you have to be back at 10 instead of midnight. And if you fuck up again, or maybe if you fuck up enough the first time, they send you out with a chaperone. You can't drink. So what's the point of even going out? So right. Yeah, you could get in some serious trouble. But yeah, I've been that fucked up, but you just show up, and the only break we got, the only reprieve was lunch, because you don't have to go to lunch. So instead of eating, I was sleeping in my rack, or at least tossing and turning.
Now, what would your supervisor do if you went out and you drank vampire blood and you started to turn into a vampire in the Navy?
Well, that's a whole section of the UCMJ that I never got into, but you probably have bigger problems to worry about since you're now immortal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, probably more important. But yeah, the classic right. I'm fucked up signs.
Right.
Sunglasses and all that shit.
Yeah. Now this guy, Jason Patrick, I would nominate him for the Hair Hall of Fame with Stallone and Mel Gibson.
Yeah, it's looking good, man. That mane.
That's a good mane on this guy.
Yeah, those raven locks, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'll put him up there. And he's a good-looking dude, handsome dude. And the hair. Yeah, I'll put him up against not only Mel Gibson, but we could put him up against Lethal Weapon 1, same year, 1987, Mel Gibson.
Heather says Jamie Gertz is the richest actor in the world. I don't know the details on that, Jamie, but I was looking her up when I watched this movie, and it says she co-owns like the Atlanta Falcons or the Atlanta Hawks basketball or something. She co-owns one of the pro teams in the South. So yes, you're right. She's very wealthy. I don't know how. I don't know what her family because she didn't act in a lot of movies. So maybe she comes from money, or she married into it, or she's a very good investor, or does real estate deals. I don't know. But yeah, she's quite wealthy.
All the above.
Yeah. So, but yeah, this guy goes in the Hair Hall of Fame, I think. He's got some locks going.
For sure, man. If it could be like, if he had like 3 inductees per class, and yeah, he's in.
Her husband's an investor. Okay, that makes sense. So he's turning all weird. His little brother's been up all night reading about vampires. So to me, this is that Spielberg, Richard Donner, Goonies, E.T. Mm-hmm. This is that fun of where the young people are going to find out the secret that all the adults don't know, and they're on the edge of it, and all the clues are starting to fall into place. I think this is really, really fun writing.
And even if they tell the adults what's going on, they're not going to believe them.
Right. Yeah, and that's great fun too. And that's a big theme in Jericho Green and the Hammerheads, the comic book that we will eventually get done. We got a lot of work to do, but That's a big theme in that. The young kids finding out the spooky, creepy stuff, and no adults believe them, and they got to solve it on their own.
Don't
So
want to
it's a
believe it, man.
classic structure. So yeah, so he's all vampire hungover. He's feeling weird, staying home. Little brother goes to take a bath,
Yeah.
and the dog can sense the evil, and he gets the hunger here. He starts drinking milk, the older brother, and he gets overcome with vampireness, and he loses his mind, and he wants to go I guess bite his little brother, right?
Yeah, because the human food, that's not cutting it.
Right. And the dog attacks him and bites his hand. It's crazy.
Yeah. And the dog, dogs, I like that, the lore of dogs. The vampires or Dracula, has control of wolves and shit. And there's always, and some story is as old as time. There's a lot of times there's a dog involved, that protects, that can sense evil, that can sense and hear what we can't. And it would, gladly give its life for its master. And this is, the dog. This is modern day, but it's still some old school caveman shit going on here, where he knows there's another predator in this house. And I'm sure they didn't train him. This dog didn't go to classes. They didn't train
go to vampire
him.
school? Dog vampire school?
He didn't go to anti-vampire training, but it's in his fucking DNA that there's another meat eater in the house, and I'm supposed to be the only one. And this little boy is, I'm going to protect him with my life, period. That's why he's there. That's why the dog's there. Yeah, it looks like he really loves his master and he wants to be around him, and that's true. But that dog is right next to him because if some shit goes down, I'm going back to, whatever BC. We're going to tear some shit up in here. And he did.
Right.
Good boy. He was a good boy.
Yeah. So the older brother opens the door ready to bite his little brother and drink his blood as one of the damned.
His brother.
His own brother. How terrible. The dog attacks him and bites his hand badly. And then the older brother, Michael, comes to his senses. And now he's looking shitty, the brother. A minute ago, he was looking like a supermodel like 5 minutes ago. Now he looks like a crackhead. This guy, he's all sweaty. He's got bags under his eyes,
like clammy and shit.
He's all jonesing.
Yeah, man, he's ready to suck somebody's dick for some blood. Gross.
What was that thing with Chris? Wasn't it like Chris Rock and what movie was that? New Jack City or Menace to Society or someone offering favors to someone?
Oh yeah, it was Menace to Society. He's like, "Come on, man, I suck your dick." And he said, "You suck what?" Boom, boom, killed him right there.
Right. I feel like that was an overreaction. You could have just said to the guy, "No thanks."
Yeah, but in that war zone, when you're again, we were talking about humiliation earlier. He was humiliated because he said that in front of everybody. And so his reaction, be it extreme, in that setting, it wasn't extreme. And you notice right after that, he just picks up the bag because a crackhead offered him cheeseburgers. He had a bag full of cheeseburgers. He said, "Oh, no damn cheeseburgers." He's like, "You better have some money." And that's when he said, "I'll suck your dick." Boom, kills him. And then he picks up the bag of cheeseburgers. So, "Y'all want some cheeseburgers?" Like, he didn't even care. He kicked him, actually. He kicked the dead crackhead's body and took his cheeseburger. So in that setting, was that extreme? I don't think so.
Terrible. It's been like 30 years since I saw that movie or something. It was a mid-90s.
Maybe we should watch that one again.
Menace to Society. I don't remember if it's good or not.
It's a good movie, but it's harsh.
Hardcore. So in this scene, I don't know if you guys could tell, that hand of Corey Haim, the little brother, is not in front of Michael. It's behind him. And this is a view into the mirror. And Corey Haim's been reading about vampires for the last day or two. His brother comes home all weird, and now his reflection is fading in the mirror.
Oh, shit.
So he's like, oh, shit, his brother's turning a vampire. He calls the Frog Brothers at the comic book store, and they're on the phone talking about it, and they tell him, it's really funny, Corey Feldman tells him, "You're going to have to drive a wooden stake through your brother's heart." So, not good. So Corey Haim, the brother of Michael, locks himself in his room, and he calls his mom. His mom's out on a date with the video store guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
The video store guys asked her on a date. She went to a fancy dinner. She just got there. And Michael goes to just lay down in bed because he's vampiring out. And when he starts to float up, because I guess he could fly as a vampire, and he floats all the way to the ceiling, but then he starts floating out of the house. He floats out of the window. He's barely hanging on. It feels like he's being sucked away by evil. And he's able to grab some parts of the house and pull himself to Corey, his little brother's window. And he's
Which
like, let
freaks
me in,
him
let
the fuck
me in.
out.
And the brother doesn't want to let him in because he thinks the vampire, he thinks his brother will eat him.
Yeah, because he tried to 35 seconds ago. So
He's like, why you got to bring up, oh shit, I'm not going to eat you now.
Good on you, young man, for not forgetting a minute ago.
Would you, if someone tried to eat you, would you let them back in 5 minutes later?
I can't say that I would.
Okay.
I can't say that I would.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, that's really not good. He gets his brother in there. He finally trusts him, open the window, lets him in. And
he means it. He's really, sad and for what he tried to do this time, this early in the transformation.
It's like, sorry, bro. I won't suck
My
your blood
bad.
next time.
Dude, I was totally gonna bite your jugular. But then the dog was like, oh, and I was like, oh shit, sorry, bro.
Dude, I was just gonna quench my thirst on a little hemoglobin.
Bro, what's wrong with that? You know how much hemoglobin's in your body, dude? I can actually hear it like coursing through your veins. Sorry, dude. Sorry, dude. I did it again, bro.
With my vampire vision, I can actually see the heat of your blood.
My bad. Oh, cool dude.
Yeah, and then this guy, this is
the
video store owner, Max, and he's upset at he was at a fancy restaurant with the mom, I believe. And then she just bailed, right? Because the son called her. And then
he's frantic and shit.
Right. And then he's walking into the walkway at his home, and it's implied that the vampire gang attacks him all of a sudden.
I would come running home too if my kid, was like, Michael and blah, blah, blah. I'd be like, oh shit, what's going on? And that's what happened. And she was not happy when she got home.
If you had to turn into one of the classic Universal Studios monsters, Frankenstein, Wolfman, Mummy, Invisible Man, or Dracula, which one would you turn into?
I got to be true to my inner child and pick what I always would have picked as a young man, and that's a werewolf.
Me too.
They just look cool.
You get to be a regular dude during the day.
Yeah, I'm chilling. I'm chilling, eating In and Out and stuff, having a good time. But then, that full moon, I can't be responsible. But that's when I take off. I'll go somewhere. You don't shit where you eat, kids. So I'd go somewhere far away and eat their citizens.
Right. And then, hold on.
Cycle.
I'm getting a call. And if you were ever turned into a lycanthrope, I would be happy to defend you in court. That's what he told me. I'm just quoting Bernard, St. Bernard Sanders. He's an attorney at law. He's a canine attorney at law, and he's here to talk to us about. He's here to talk to us about supernatural monster law. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me once again, Mr. Gabe. I am St. Bernard Sanders, attorney at law.
Now, do you have a lot of experience defending supernatural monsters that eat people?
I do have a supernatural clause that you can sign, and I put my team of expert canines who specialize in the supernatural.
Now, you famously got this werewolf in New Jersey. You got him off, and he ate 3 people at a mental hospital.
It was not his fault. Number one, he was not mentally aware, and he got bit by somebody who was jogging at night through the forest, full moon, and somebody bit my client. It was not his fault or his choice that he became a lycan.
Now, and I also heard that the 3 people he ate, they all had beef jerky in their pockets, and I feel like they're kind of tempting him,
Everybody in the wing of the hospital was warned, don't have any dried or smoked meats on your person.
It's just common sense.
They knew that my client had an affinity for the dried and the smoked treats.
Right. So he's on probation now, and you've moved on to a class action lawsuit.
Wait a minute. Do not tarnish the name of my former client. All charges have been dropped. He's a free man, and he's not on parole or probation.
Oh, that's an update. Guys, you're getting a live update here on Double Impact. Now, what about the class action lawsuit for those guys? They were wolf men. They didn't like to be called werewolves. They thought that was old fashioned. They were wolf men, so they sued the other werewolves. How is that working out? Do you see a victory? Are you guys going to settle out of court, or what's going on there? Who owns the name werewolf? Who owns that legally?
Of course, I smell victory.
All right.
We are going to win this case. Actually, under the advisement of myself and my legal team of supernatural specialists, my client actually owns the word werewolf.
Really?
So you can't use that word unless you pay my client, and I represent him. I am St. Bernard Sanders, attorney at law.
So hold on now. Two things, and we'll get you out of here. Because the guys you're suing, they claimed it was wolf, like where it was a service. It was an app for the phone to help you find werewolves. And they're like, wolf. And then you're like, no, that's bullshit. You're trying to cash in on our word werewolf. So I'm glad you were able to vindicate your guys and get justice there. That was awesome. It was great work by you.
Werewolf, here, wolf. You like that? Just a little comedy, a little humor. You get that here with St. Bernard Sanders,
Right.
attorney at law.
No, I thought it was pathetic when their lawyer, he counter-offered that they were going to change it to their wolf instead of werewolf. You know, it's like,
yeah, then you get into they wolf, he wolf, him wolf, zer wolf. There's crazy times afoot. We're here. It's crazy, but don't worry if you feel that you've been discriminated against because of who you love or who loves you.
Yeah, you can hump any leg you want, sniff any butt you want if you're consenting adult dogs, of course.
Yeah, you can stick your nose into anybody's stinker as long as you're a consenting adult. And no matter what, let me know. St. Bernard Sanders, attorney at law.
Okay, I said I'd get you out here. One last thing. One of the great fans, None the Miser, he reminded me, Orenthal J. Simpson, rest in peace, OJ's dog, werewolf. Now, he's in the slammer right now. You're representing him, and he claims the rabies evidence was planted. What's your strategy there? How are you going to get him off? Are you going to find whoever really planted the rabies, or how does it work?
We will not stop until we find the perpetrator of this crime. My client is innocent until proven guilty under the Constitution of the United States of America. The burden of proof falls on the state. My client has done nothing wrong, and I'm going to prove that in a court of law.
We love having you on here, and we love that we have you on retainer for the show.
And furthermore, my client has no history of rabies. I have shot records that show that my client has been fully vaccinated and has got all of his shots. Therefore, he cannot contract anything resembling rabies.
Well, I think you guys are going to win this.
And that's the kind of service you get here at St. Bernard Sanders, attorney at law.
Well, here's a little tidbit for you. No one's trying to tell you how to do your job. Just trying to be helpful. None the Miser, he said you could use this one for free in your closing argument. If the collar don't fit, you must acquit.
I was friends with Johnny Cochran. I know you guys are used to saying the things that you say, but let me tell you, Johnny Cochran was a great attorney at law. We had many long nights going over papers. He'd rub my head. I'd lick my balls. And then he'd forget, and I'd lick his face and get the taste of my balls out of my mouth.
Yeah,
right? So I know Johnny Cochran. I've sniffed his ass. He's a good guy from the inside out. And I tell you what, that's the kind of service that you can expect here at St. Bernard Sanders, attorney at law.
All right, we'll get you out of here. I got one last thing for you, though. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?
That would be me. You'd better have a treat or an ass for me to smell. And again, that's the kind of service you can expect at St. Bernard Sanders, attorney at law.
All right, St. Bernard Sanders, everyone. The former senator from Vermont and now an attorney at law defending lichens from
And a
unjust.
dog. That's the biggest transformation.
Yeah, this is just awesome.
Biggest transition.
And
Yeah,
you know
man,
what?
he does great work.
He's a good boy. He's a really good boy.
And all you got to do is let him sniff your ass. Like, it doesn't cost you any money.
Small price to pay.
Cheap. Yeah,
you pay.
You want to go to prison for 20 years, or you want to let a dog, catch a whiff? Up to you.
There you go. There you go. So, anyways, Michael, distraught over his transformation into a sort of vampire, goes back to the vampire lair. It's a cave right on the beachfront there in Santa.
Yeah, it's an expensive cave. Yeah, it's an expensive cave right there, oceanfront. You can feel the mist from the waves.
They said it used to be a hotel, and then the famous 1904 earthquake that destroyed San Francisco. I think they said that it got all smashed up in the big earthquake, and it's now just ruins sitting there. So it's sort of a cave. It's sort of a hotel. It's a little bit of both.
It's nice.
He goes back. He goes back in there to find these damn vampires and ask them what the hell was in that drink.
Yeah, and you can hear the waves crashing. Like, it's a really cool spot. Then he finds her. He's like, I thought I was gonna get some, and then you fucking make me.
And then he gets
undead.
some. Yeah.
Yeah. Then he got some, but that's not when he wanted some. He wanted to get
the
some.
ice cube. So deep, put her ass to sleep.
But he wanted to get some without being turned into.
Yeah, I feel
undead.
Like if you got to turn into a vampire to get some, it ain't worth it. That's my own opinion. I mean, I don't know how you feel, Jericho. I wouldn't want to turn into a vampire.
I guarantee you that most dudes would probably, for some hot chick, you're 21, or in this case, 17?
It's Cindy Crawford in 1992, but you have to turn into a vampire.
Yeah. I was do so get her blood. I can get used to it.
I just see you the next day. I'm like, Jericho, your teeth are all long.
But hey, you won't believe what happened.
Why are you wearing sunglasses? It's like it's not even bright out.
Good, you can deal with it. But, hey, let's do it, Cindy Crawford.
I guess she turns you into a vampire.
Man. And so many dudes would do that. There'd be so many dude vampires walking around. It'd be pitiful. Yeah, we would.
It would.
At that age, your hormones are not in charge. Your dick has told your brain to shut up a long time ago. And especially if she's like 2-3 years older. Yeah, goodbye.
I believe it was Plato, could be Aristotle. I confused some of their quotes, but I think it was Plato. And he said that one of the great things about being older was to be freed from the tyranny of lust. Mm-hmm. And you think as a man, we will not expand and go into detail. Women don't live the way we do when it comes to sexuality. And I'm not going to get deep here. It's YouTube, keep it PG-13. I will say this. Men have made some dumb decisions when it comes to women. Ask Bill Clinton. When you're younger, your judgment is it never goes away. You could live to be 90 and it just, you love women, but you get a little wiser as you get older. Say, maybe I shouldn't do that, huh? Maybe not. So for those who wanted for context, for me, I had my first child at 18. So
right.
I'm a passionate man. I'm a passionate man.
So, and it doesn't really slow down.
I would have got turned into a vampire is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I'd be out here hanging upside down in the cave just like man.
Have we doing the show upside down?
Hell yeah. You can do it forever. Forever
right.
And ever, unless you run across the frog.
On the 80,000th episode of this show.
Yeah, we've been doing this show for 475 years. So 50,000 in the books. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, for sure.
We're doing a show like this, dude.
Yeah, okay.
Hello, welcome to the show, Jericho.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for the invite to Double Impact. Oh.
Yeah, that's
we'd
how
all be scared of garlic. Yeah. We'd all be scared of holy water and shit, for sure. Especially if she's fucking hot and a little older. You're done, dude.
You're finished.
There.
You'll be finished.
Get up there and hang upside down, stupid.
So in the comic books about vampire, Corey Haim has read about the Hounds of Hell. They're these evil wolf dog things that follow Dracula's commands, the evil head vampire. There's a head vampire. There's junior vampires that Dracula has turned into vampires. That's key for the story. He's read about these scary dogs last night. His mom and him go to Max, the video store owner, the older gentleman in his 40s, to
She
apologize.
was on the date.
She was going to apologize, bring him a bottle of wine for ditching. And Cujo goes ape shit on her. His dog, I don't remember the dog's name, but it goes crazy, rabid, barking. She barely gets over the fence. It's ripping her dress off. And then it starts like banging its face through the gate, like a little bit of Jack Nicholson in the what's the movie? The Shining. It's like coming through the wood, you know. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, that motherfucker was pissed.
Hardy Harmonica is asking, what is the best age to become a vampire? Well, no age would be good because you'd be eternally damned to hell. But we're talking about immortality and not evil damnation to hell that gives you eternal life, but good eternal life. Wouldn't you want to be 21, 20? Like when you're in your physical prime, nothing hurts when you wake up. You don't have to stretch before you play basketball.
But if you're a vampire, then it's just strictly based on looks because you're not going to have any of those problems no matter what.
Oh, that's true. So
it's
yeah,
strictly
I guess
based on looks.
Mid to late 20s when you're at your peak of your good lookness, you know. Yeah, I guess somewhere in your 20s, but no eternal damnation. That's evil. You wouldn't want that.
Why not? And you don't want to look too young. You want to look like 18. Yeah, like 25.
Well, I suppose the vampires have the super healing. So even if you were old and you jumped off something and got hurt, it would heal. But then it would hurt for a while, though.
But what do you want to look like, though? Do you want to look like an old man?
You want to look cool.
Yeah, 25. Perfect.
Yeah, 25. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody suspects a baby vampire. That's true. That's a weird thing about this movie. There's a gang of like 7 vampires that all look like 23 years old. And then there's like a 12-year-old vampire that hangs out with them that has no dialogue.
Yeah.
It's the girl, the middle school vampire, and then the adult vampires. And the middle school vampire doesn't have any dialogue, doesn't really
do anything. Old? Is he that old?
He might be 300 years old, but he looks like he's 9 or 10 or 11 or something, you know?
I don't know. Does he even look that old? I think he looks like 6 or 7, doesn't he?
I think he's that little. He's a little kid. He's an elementary school kid. Maybe not middle school. Elementary
kid.
Yeah.
Little shit.
But and he's just kind of there, and they didn't really write a part for him. He does one thing at the end when the bad guys attack the house. That's like all he does. You know, but he's I feel like they should have wrote him out of the story because he doesn't do anything.
Maybe what's his name? Laddie?
I don't remember. Laddie. That's it.
Laddie?
Laddie.
Okay.
You gotta say it with the Scottish accent. Laddie.
Where's me a pot of gold, Laddie? No way. Was that him? Was he the little kid?
I guess.
Oh yeah, he was like 9. Yeah, he's like 9. It says he was born in 76.
Nobody suspects.
No, he was like 11. He was like 11 because I was 7 at the time. My brother's 4.
But he had a weird like Marquise, like French Revolution, like military commander jacket on.
Yeah, but that could have been some 80s fashion shit though.
Could have been. Michael Jackson used to wear those, remember?
Yeah, that marching band kind of look. So I don't know. Yeah. Or could it be that it could be. That bottle looks way older than that. It could be like a Civil War fucking or like a French Revolution era little turd that like, you know, they turn into a vampire.
Right. So this is fun here. Little brother goes to the comic store, talks to the Frog Brothers, and tells them that he thinks maybe the video cassette store owner, Max, the older guy that's trying to date their mom, maybe he's the head vampire. Because if we can kill the head vampire, everyone who's a half vampire, like the older brother Michael, they'll turn back into regular people and not be damned to hell, and they'll quit having vampire stuff and they'll be regular people again. We got to find this head vampire and kill him. And I think it's Max because he had those hellhounds. He had the weird dog in his house. Yeah. So the Frog Brothers are like, invite us to dinner, and we'll get the garlic, we'll get the holy water, we'll hold a mirror in front of his face, we'll do all the vampire stuff, and we'll see if he's a vampire. You know, so it's a little bit of a comedic scene. And I caught this here. Now, I'm going to spoil this. You had your warning.
It's been out since 1987.
But I'm going to spoil it. You know, Heather says she hasn't seen it, but I'm going to spoil it right here. He is here he is. Max, the video store owner, he is the head vampire. They never show it in the whole movie. But I figured it out right here. Because when he gets to the front door of the house, he says, "Can I come in?" Now, being a person who's into monsters and comic books and all that, I know one of the rules of vampires is they cannot come into a house unless they are invited in. And when he asks that, like, "Can I come in?" and the guy says, "Yes, you can come in," I'm like, aha, he must be the head vampire. So there you go.
Got him.
So he comes in for dinner.
Mhm.
And the boys, this is a comedic scene. They're having, I think the mom made spaghetti, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I chopped up cheese fresh, but it's all garlic." They feed him a bunch of garlic. They dump
Yeah.
holy water on him, and then they throw a mirror in front of his face, but you can see his reflection. So
Yeah, so
the
you
garlic,
find out, and this is cool. Like when they always see that the head vampire, like Dracula, is different. When you say vampires, that's different than Dracula. Dracula is
right?
the beginning. He's the first vampire, so he's not susceptible to the garlic and the crosses and all that kind of shit. Like you got to like stake him, sunlight, like the big 3 ways to kill a vampire, because all that other shit, he's too powerful for that.
Tony C gives us an answer on Laddie, the little boy. A picture of him appears on the milk carton Michael drinks from before he wants
Yeah.
to bite his brother. I didn't know that. I missed that.
So it was like some 80s fashion shit. They just got him.
Right. Or maybe just some old clothes they found in that place they live.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe.
Who knows?
But it's
Maybe
it's
they went thrift shop.
also remember when we did Bram Stoker's Dracula, you can see that Dracula, how he
Right.
controlled all the animals and could do this and turn into a mist. So Dracula himself, he's a pretty powerful son of a bitch.
Right. Right. Yeah, and I keep saying Dracula, but obviously Max is not Count Dracula. He's Max from the video store, and he's just the head vampire here. So if I say Dracula again, I don't mean that. I just mean he's the head vampire. But this is a fun scene. I think Corey Feldman is in his element here, where he plays that quirky kind of comic book store nerd, and maybe you really are the head vampire. And they feed him all the garlic and dump the holy water, and they throw the mirror in front of his face, and you can see him. So the way they're writing the movie here is they're saying, no, he's not the vampire.
And they're fearless.
Right.
They're fearless because they think he is a vampire. So you're up in a vampire's face. You're putting mirrors in front of him and all that kind of shit. Like, here's some ballsy little kids.
Right. So the guy gets upset and offended, and of course he leaves. These kids are doing all kinds of crap to him. And the mom's like, thanks a lot to her son or whatever. So
I don't know. Dead.
It's weird. My parents got divorced when I was 8. And I remember my mom, your mom's dating and you're a little kid and stuff. It's just the worst.
Oh,
man. It's the worst.
That'd be tough. That would be tough.
I don't know. This guy's not your dad. He's just some dickhead driving a Capri. His name's Roger. He tries to take you guys to the San Diego Zoo.
Mm-hmm.
Hurts your arm by accident when he tries to pick you up. It's terrible.
Oh, man. That sucks, man. That really does.
So I remember telling a guy my mom was dating when I was like 8. He said something about maybe marrying your mom. And I was such a precocious child. I've always had a very big vocabulary. He said, and I was 8, mind you. And he said something about marrying my mom, maybe. And I said, yeah, we'll see about that. I literally told him as an 8-year-old.
We'll see about that, dickhead. Yeah, my son, he trips me out sometimes, the words that he uses, the big words and stuff like that. It's so funny.
But you said your son is like a voracious reader, right? He loves to read.
Yeah, he likes to read. And now that he can read, my answer to everything is read it. Dad, what's that? What's that? Read it, read it, read it, read it. So, but yeah, some of the shit he says is so crazy. He uses big ass words. It's so funny.
Yeah. So, and during the dinner, I guess the grandpa peeks on it. He's kind of like, what's going on here?
He knows what's up.
Because the grandpa, he's the only one that knows or believes about the damn vampires in Santa Carla.
Mm-hmm.
See, I've been getting it right. I've been saying Santa Carla, not Santa Clara.
Good job, Gabe. Good job.
So anyway, the vampires, they take Michael out on the town. They take him out and they go to the beach. There's like this party, people drinking beer and pretty girls and music. And it's just a beach party, bonfire at night. Mm-hmm. And they're in the trees watching from a distance, and it's time to feed. And they want Michael to feed with them, David and the other vampires. And he doesn't go for it. He doesn't want to do this. Because I think once you get bit, you're like halfway. And then I think if you start feeding, then you're in, right? Then you're damned.
Yeah,
you're
as you're stuck. Turning, like your hunger just gets insatiable. Like you can't help it.
Right.
Eventually you're going to fucking bite somebody. But he's not there yet. But these guys are clearly.
And I would say this is the scariest shot of the movie, where they're talking in the dark in the tree, and it's getting pretty intense. And you got to eat these surfers with us, and blah, blah, blah. And he kind of comes out of the shadow into the firelight from the bonfire. And he's got this funky face with these yellow eyes and these fangs. And it's a bit of a scare. And then you see all the other vampires. They look all crazy and weird too, with the crazy eyes and all that.
Yeah.
And,
this scene's pretty wild.
Yeah, they eat all the people at the beach. You don't see too much gore. This is about as gory as it gets. But if you're gonna bite someone, and don't ever bite someone, why would you bite their skull and not their neck though?
Because it's so powerful. They can
Oh,
bite
you
right
can
there.
bite right
Obviously, you
through
can
it, huh?
see. Yeah, obviously, you can see there's some blood in there.
I
That's for
guess.
sure. So yeah, you're powerful enough. Fucking bite them wherever.
Right. And then
And
Michael just
Michael's
sits
being a
there.
bitch. You don't want to
He
give
sits
in.
there and watches them eat these people. He's just like, ah, you know.
He should
So
have jerked off. That would have made him feel better.
that would have been a very different movie.
I don't want to feed. Yeah, do that.
Uh,
So if you find yourself wanting to bite somebody, jerk off. Forget all about it.
oh, okay. Well,
Tell me I'm wrong.
you are wrong.
You can't. No, you can't. It's right.
Skull does bleed a lot. That's true. That is
Yeah.
true.
There's plenty of plasma in that bitch.
So then little brother is at home, wakes up. There's an owl right next to one of the stuffed owls from the grandpa. It's kind of spooky. And the brother gets home. He comes home like, I can't believe what these guys are doing. And the girl, she shows, her name is Star, right?
Mhm.
Because her parents were hippie dippies. And she's a half vampire too. And she hasn't eaten anyone. She hasn't drank any blood yet either. You know, her or Laddie, I don't think. Neither of them have turned yet because they're not willing to feed yet. So, right. So now we're getting down to this part here where they're back at home and they're going to barricade themselves in the house, right? Because, or no, they're going to make a plan. They got to go to the cave and kill the vampires in their sleep. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah, they got to get them where they're during the daytime. So that's the best time. That's when they're at their weakest.
Right.
Yeah, they'd be fools to go up in there at night. The kids would get slaughtered.
Right. Yeah. So the next day in the sunlight, they go into the cliffside cave, and it makes Michael really weak to be out in the sun, you know. And he hasn't fed. He hasn't drank any blood.
Yeah, but he's not full blown Z vampire yet, or he'd be all.
Right. So they go in there. He's going to take the girl Star out. She's a vampire half, and he's going to take her out. Michael, get her in the car, help her to safety. Take Laddie out too is what they want to do. And I do like the boys, the Frog Brothers. They're badasses. They got their wooden stakes, and they're going to find these vampires and kill them.
Fucking stake him.
Right. What do you think? And they can't find them. They're looking for coffins because vampires are supposed to sleep in coffins. And they can't find it, the Frog Brothers. They're climbing through the cave, and there's cobwebs and debris and rocks. And then they come into this chamber, and it's a great spooky shot of all the vampires asleep on the ceiling. That kind of caught me off guard. And I thought it was a great touch how they're actually sleeping like bats with their feet grabbing onto things to hold on like that.
Yeah, that shit's crazy. And the kids climbed up there too. Crazy little bastards, man. Those kids got guts.
And look at all that blood, dude. They stake Bill and Ted right through the heart. They do kill him.
It's a wrap.
Right. And that's Corey Feldman, the little brother, and the two Frog Brothers. They stake him. All the other vampires wake up, go crazy, chase them out of the cave, and they barely get out. And Kiefer Sutherland here, David, he's grabbing at the ankle of little Corey Haim, the little brother. And the only thing stopping him is the sunlight, like burning him as he's grabbing him. So,
dude, what a scene. That was pretty scary right there, going in that cave. And that's always scary, when you go into the lair of, when the crazy guy, you think he leaves and you sneak into the house, to rescue somebody. And then he comes back, or some shit like that. That's always scary. That's timeless.
Yeah, and I do like the design of the vampires because they are so 80s, heavy metal, big hair. These guys all have hair like they're in White Snake or Poison, So, it's an intense scene. It's an intense scene. A lot of blood.
Very.
So, I remember watching Interview with the Vampire, Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt. And one of them gets killed or decapitated or something happens. And when he starts bleeding, I guess it's something like all the blood he ever drank in all the hundreds of years comes out of him or something. I remember something like that. And the room and the floor is just getting covered with hundreds of gallons of blood. And I feel like there's a similar thing here where they stab these guys and there's just like so much blood gushing everywhere. Because the average adult human has 5 liters of blood. So like 2.5 soda bottles, basically. That's how much blood the average adult human has. So,
that's a lot, but it's not like.
That's a lot of blood.
Shit,
Did you want to know an interesting fact about blood? Did you want to know an interesting fact about blood and why women cannot drink as much blood as men or as much alcohol? Women can't drink as much alcohol as men, even though they're the same size and height and weight, because women have less blood than men because we have much more muscle and we need more blood to have more muscle. So that's why women can't drink as much as men. There you go.
Take that, ladies.
Take that, ladies.
Put that drink down.
I'm going to ask Kamala Harris, what are you going to do about the blood gap between men and women?
Yeah, I grew up in a middle class neighborhood, and the ambitions and dreams of American people. And Joe Biden did a backflip out of bed every morning. I saw it.
Can you imagine her and pervy Uncle Walls as the
That dude is a fucking weirdo, man. Every time he talks, just like her, every time they talk, it just gets worse. That dude's a fucking weirdo, man.
He's such a perfect example of a quote unquote nice guy, because every once in a while, his demonic, seething rage will slip out of him. Mm-hmm. And nice guys are always filled with like murderous rage in their personality. They have so much resentment against men and women, successful. Why do they always date the bad boy? And blah, blah, dude, that murderous rage. I've seen it pop out of him in some of his speeches. It's just like, oof.
Yeah, that dude's a fucking freak.
Right. And you could tell at the moment you saw him, right?
Yeah.
The moment you saw him.
The way his voice. Oh, yeah, don't you know there? Blah, blah, blah. I didn't mean I saw that. You're fucking weirdo.
You would never let him take the Cub Scouts up to Mount Whitney or whatever.
Just like Chris Rock said, I wouldn't let him watch my kids on TV. So there.
Oh, that's great. So they've killed one vampire. The other vampire have to wait till it gets dark to get revenge. Mm-hmm. And Michael's in the car trying not to pass out. They come all covered in blood. Oh, they didn't get Laddie. They left Laddie behind. So Laddie's with the vampires. That's right.
Yeah, too bad, kid.
Yeah. Hey,
sorry, Laddie.
Sorry, Laddie. Good luck, Junior.
Yeah. Bye-bye. Bye, little shit. Didn't have time.
Take off, get home, bring Star in, Michael in, away from the sun, and they're going to lock things up because these vampires are coming. The grandpa's leaving because he has a date. He has a hot date with a cool chick in town. So he's out.
He's doing it. Grandpa's like, hey, fuck this. I'm still active. Bye.
Right.
And he gets all dressed up and shit, yeah.
Right. And then Corey Feldman, he's trying to tell his mom about all this stuff, and she's just telling him to stop. Not Corey Feldman, Corey Haim, the younger brother. Stop. Mm-hmm. This is crazy. You ruined the date. I don't know what you're doing. You don't want me dating this guy. You're ruining things for me with Max. Blah, blah, blah. And of course the adults don't believe. And then you get a fun little gear up montage. The Frog Brothers, they go get some holy water and some other supplies they're going to need for the night. So how do you feel about like gear up montages and all that? Getting garlic and getting holy water and all that stuff?
Always good, whether it's like this or Home Alone or an action movie. Gear up scenes are always the best. And of course, they already burned their bridge with their mom. So no matter what they say, she's not going to believe them. I'm going out. I don't want to hear it. You got me once. You already ruined the night. I'm not going to do it again. So now they're really screwed. The parents, their moms certainly won't believe it now. So they're really on their own. Grandpa's gone. It's up to us. Time to get ready.
Right.
Yeah, this is
very. She had a bathtub full of holy water and garlic.
Yeah, that's going to be a bad day in the water guns and shit. And that was, dude, everything back in the water gun. Come on. This shit's fucking great.
Do you remember in the mid 80s, it got really hot for a minute. There were commercials all over TV for these battery powered squirt guns.
I had one.
I had I think a little Uzi. It was like a fake little Uzi.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I don't remember.
Had the long magazine. Had the long magazine filled with water. Yeah, you put the batteries in it. It was like hot pink, and like the magazine was blue, and the sights and the barrel was fucking blue.
Right.
And yeah, shoot by itself. You just hold the trigger down. That shit was fucking great, man.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Before everything had fucking entertainment and video games on it, you actually had to get out there and fucking play.
The one I had was actually all black, but the tip was painted red.
Yeah, to keep you from getting shot by the police.
Right, right. Yeah, that was a law they made in California in the mid 80s where toy guns had to have like an orange or red tip or something like that. Yeah. I believe this was it. Entertech water guns. This is it. I believe this is the gun I had. Hold on. Let's see. That's like a MAC-10.
Yeah, that's what mine was. It was like a Uzi.
Oh, this is the one I had right here. It was a little AK-47 looking, but it was like really stunted looking. It wasn't long like a rifle, but it had the design of an AK-47. This is what I had, but it was black. This one looks silver.
Okay.
This is the exact one I had. Mine was black though, and then the front of the tip was painted red, not the sides though. So it was all black from the sides.
Mine was an Uzi. It was like a MAC-10.
Right.
But
Yeah,
it
I think
was-
this is here.
It's fucking great, man. I love that thing.
Was yours like this one?
No,
No.
it was like a fucking Uzi.
Oh, hold on. Here, that's the wrong gun. It was this one.
Yeah, something like that, but without the little
Yeah.
arm on the back.
Right.
Yep. That thing was so fucking cool, man. I love that thing.
Yeah, I remember. It was a great one.
Good times, man. Good times, bro.
So anyway, you get this great shot. The vampires wake up. It's now dark. They fly over the Santa Monica Pier, the roller coaster, all that.
Mhm.
And they're
And they're
flying
pissed.
Right. Yeah, they're mad. They're out for revenge because
Yeah.
Bill S. Preston, Esquire from Bill and Ted's, is dead. Bill got staked
Yeah.
through the heart. He's gone.
Yeah, it's different now. You know, before when they were flying over, you know, it felt different. It was more recreational. But this one, like, they've been waiting for this. You know, they were waiting for it to be dark so they can get these fuckers. So they're pissed.
Right. And the mom's on a date with Max, and she's going to have to leave again. The boys are gearing up with headbands and face paint. They got
The bow and
arrows. They
arrow.
got the holy water. They got the house all
Mhm.
set up. And for whatever reason, the dog is locked on the gate outside, and the wind starts howling and things start getting weird. And it's the vampires are coming. You know what I mean? And I wonder if that's taken from the book. I told you need to read the book Dracula by Bram Stoker. Amazing book. And I told you about the chapter where the boat that Dracula has taken to England, when it comes into harbor, the weather changes. The sky turns black. There's lightning and rain and storms and wind. And it's just horrible, horrible. And then everyone on the boat is dead. Because Dracula's been eating them the whole time on the way to
Yeah, you
London.
gotta have snacks.
But it's
Gotta have
such an intense chapter when you read it. I told you it's like a drum beat that just gets faster and
Mhm.
faster and crazier and crazier. And this is kind of happening here as these vampires approach the grandpa's house. Though the weather starts to get crazy, and you can feel the creepy just ratcheting up. The dog is barking, and it's a good scene. A lot of tension in it. I like it. So yeah, so far to me, this movie's it's an A+. You know,
Yeah, it's getting ready for the final showdown. Like,
Right.
you know, something's got to happen. The vampires are pissed. They know where the boys are. The boys know they're coming. Let's do this.
Ghost Rider 13 says, "Hi chat, my pronouns are bloodsucker and it." There you go. Welcome.
Thank
Welcome. Jericho, if I made you pick pronouns and you couldn't be he, him, what would you be?
you. It would be fuck you. Those are my
Thank you.
pronouns.
That's the only correct answer.
Thank you. Thank
Right.
you.
So the dog is chained outside. The vampires are coming. Michael runs out there to save the dog, and they barely make it back inside. They barely get inside and barricade the doors before the vampires get a hold of them.
Barely.
And then out of the fireplace, one of the vampires explodes out. It's crazy. And they start attacking in different
Yeah.
rooms and different parts of the house. You know?
And it's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like, these vampires, they don't care that they're kids. They don't give a shit about that. You killed our boy. You snuck into our lair. It's on you, little bastards.
Right. So the Frog Brothers are chased upstairs and into a bathroom. And with this guy, he's just one of the random vampires. There's I think 3 vampires and David, right? 2 or 3 and David. And there's a guy with black hair, and there's a guy with blonde hair, and then there's David with the bleach blonde hair and the mustache or whatever sort of. And they throw this guy. He tells them, "Oh, garlic won't work on me," and they're like, "Yeah, but it's holy water."
Yeah, bitch.
And he just starts like melting and shrieking, and blood starts going everywhere. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. They fuckers do that.
It's very gory what happens. It starts pushing blood all through the pipes of the house. The toilet blows up, the sink blows up, plumbing and other parts of the house starts shooting blood everywhere. It's a crazy thing.
Yeah, the sink, it's wild. But that was the one part that scared me as a kid was the bathtub scene. Because when he came out of it, he was like all melted and had like holes in his face, and like he was all fucked up because of the holy water. It wasn't just that. That was just like the very
he has
beginning of it.
Peeling and gooping off after he comes back up from the water. It's crazy.
Man. It was great. Great.
Right. So so then the one vampire, I never caught his name with the dark hair. He's gonna get get one of the kids, and then he gets an arrow and he goes right into the speaker. So he gets staked through the heart and electrocuted to death.
Yeah, the classic electrocution. I love it. A bunch of great action movies have just knock them up against this circuit board or something, and it will just electrify them. So that was cool to see. Ghost
Rider 33 says, filmed in my hometown of Santa Cruz, but they changed the name from to Santa Carla.
Yeah. Try, dude. Boardwalk. Been there so many times, it's ridiculous.
Death by stereo. And I missed it earlier, right here. Laddie, he came out of the bed when the guys were hiding upstairs to attack like an evil vampire, and they almost killed Laddie. And then Star saves Laddie from the Frog Brothers, right? And says, no, he's a kid, and she'll handle him, right? Doesn't she like lock down Laddie so like nothing will happen to him? And
like he's not the possessed vampire dog.
Right.
He's a good boy. Because the Frog Brothers are killing everything. If it's not them or Corey Haim, it's dying. Gotta respect that.
Right. So then it's these two brothers, I believe Sam and Michael, and guess who's here? It's good old Kiefer Sutherland as David.
Yeah, they're on the warpath, dude. There's no more hiding. There's no more wanting you to be one of us, you piece of shit. These little bastards came in and killed our boy.
Right.
It's on.
And then so then Michael and David have an epic showdown. They fight. Everyone's, they're trading blows. Michael gets hurt, David gets hurt, but then Grandpa comes back from his date, crashes his car through the wall, hits David into some antlers and stakes him through the heart and kills him.
His horns fucking going off in his like Jeep or whatever he's trying to do. He fucking boom. Knock David up into those antlers. It's a wrap.
So, like all good scary movies, this is the fake out ending, right? We've defeated evil. We've defeated David. We don't think Max is the head vampire because the garlic didn't hurt him. The water didn't hurt him. We saw his reflection, so it can't be him.
He's not a vampire at all.
But Michael and Star and Laddie, they don't change back to human, and they killed the head vampire, David. What's going on? Well, guess what?
Damn it.
Hold on, wait. Guess who comes in? He comes walking in. It's Max, and he tells them the real deal. That yes, it's me. I was the head vampire all along.
It's me.
My cronies. They're shocked, and he says that his twisted fantasy was to woo the mother and turn her and her boys and all them into vampires, and it would be his new family. So he's what they call loco.
But he's a vampire. Fucking love the red lighting, makes him look even scarier. The red light's a very nice element to this scene. And he's also like, hey, this is what I wanted, but it's not going to happen. So now you will all die. And then Michael's
but he tells her if she turns, he'll spare some people, right?
Yeah.
So he goes to bite her. Michael fights him, and he ends up he gets staked by the grandpa's car. David didn't get staked by the car. David just got staked by Michael shoving him into it while they were flying through the air.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, then the grandpa comes in, and he has like the big old spike or pikes, I guess you would call them, on the front of it.
The only guy in a suit, vampire, I guess. Yeah, and they kill him. He dies. He goes to hell. Everyone turns back into normal, beautiful people. And that is the end of it. That is the end of the Lost Boys. They are no longer half vampires.
What a great movie.
It's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, it's not wholesome because it's about vampires and killing and all that. But in a world of absolute trash and over-sexualization and all that stuff, you can watch this one and not feel too bad that you're watching actual garbage or anything like that. And Hardy Harmonica talks about the theme song they keep playing, Cry Little Sister. Yeah, it's a great song. They play it it was a hit song in the 80s, and they play it a few times throughout the movie, and it goes perfectly. It really does.
Yeah,
So-
everything, again, like a great movie, the score, everything, the supporting cast, the stars, everything just aligned. And we have another fucking classic movie. Yes, it's from the 80s, were a great decade, but no matter what, this movie would have been great
I
as long as they didn't
maintain-
make it in the last 15
I
years.
maintain the 80s are the best decade of movies. You can't,
Mhm.
there are great movies in other decades, but the most great movies are in the 80s, I believe. I don't know. There's just a look and a feel to them. There's an optimism that America and the West had. And America still loved itself. Didn't have all the woke, feminist, communist shit telling you to hate your own country and culture. So,
Yeah,
I think,
that wasn't happening in the 80s.
right.
And to be a communist was still one of the worst things
Right.
you could be. It wasn't people openly saying, "Oh, I'm a democratic socialist," and blah blah. No, people weren't saying
No,
that
you
shit.
get thrown out.
Especially in the middle of the Cold War. You're out of your mind.
Yeah, this movie, it's not as good as like Back to the Future or something like that, which I think is a perfect 80s movie. Raiders of the Lost Ark, perfect 80s movie. This movie does touch that though. It does touch that fun that Goonies has, that Back to the Future has. It does have that, even though Spielberg's not involved in this movie, maybe it's the Richard Donner angle, it just has that fun in it. There's something about it. It's not overly scary. It's fun. The whole angle with the teenage comic book store, vampire hunter guys, really fun stuff. I recommend it. I think it's a really good one. I was surprised at how much I liked it. When I went to watch it, I thought, okay, I'll get through this. Whatever. It's just going to be some stupid vampire movie. And I thought it was fantastic. Fantastic.
Yeah. Great movie, man. Great movie. I only wish that you could have seen it through the eyes of, a young Gabe. So you just had that awe, like, whoa, this is so
There's no way
cool.
I would have been allowed to watch this as a child. Just no way.
No, but in a different dimension.
I wasn't allowed to watch the Smurfs because Gargamel's cat's name is Azrael, which is the angel of death. I literally was not allowed to watch the Smurfs. So.
Yeah, well, in another dimension, maybe the third or fourth.
Guys, thank you for being here tonight. Wednesday, next week, October 30th, 7 p.m. Pacific, we're going to be revealing what this is all about. Follow me on X, Facebook. Make sure you subscribe to me and Jericho and everything in the links. But we got something for you. Holidays are coming up. It's never too early to get the Christmas stuff going because
Never.
Yeah, you'll find out why. Pay attention to me on social media and you're going to see more clues, maybe starting tomorrow or Friday. And next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific, Dean Cain will be here to reveal what's in the box with me and Jericho. Dean will be here and we will talk about what is in that box. And you're going to love it. Now, Jericho, you've already seen it. Whatever I might be talking about. I texted you. Remember
I'm excited for them. Yeah, it's wonderful. I'm excited for them.
So you're gonna absolutely love what we have in store for you, and it's just it's perfect for you guys. And anything you want to promote before we get the hell out of here?
Hey, just keep your eyes peeled on my channel and Green's house. I made some changes to my channel, my videos, so check them out. Enjoy them, I hope. Spread them, share them, like them, subscribe if you're not. All that good shit. Just wherever you can look up Jericho Green, that's me. Follow.
He is I and I am him. None of the Miser says we should do 7. 100%. One of the greatest thriller detective movies.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We've talked about that before. That movie is great.
A classic.
What's in the box?
We've done so many leading men months. We did a whole, Stallone, Schwarzenegger. We did Denzel. We've done our leading men. We did Keanu. We did lots of guys.
Mm-hmm.
We should do Brad Pitt. He's got some great movies. Let's do a Brad Pitt couple weeks. And he's got 7. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That is a long movie. I don't know if we can do that on here in under 7 hours.
Yeah.
It's a great movie. But we'll definitely do 7. We'll definitely do that. That's a great one.
Yeah.
So we'll see you next week, October 30th, 7 p.m. Superman himself, Dean Cain, will be here, and it's going to be a blast. You're going to love what you find out.
Guys, who else can bring you Superman?
We brought you Matthew Marshall last week. We're bringing Superman next week.
Exactly.
Sorry we didn't have a celebrity on this week, guys. Sorry.
In your mouth. That's great.
All right, guys.